We are live. What is up, everybody? Black Smoke Reptiles, Kenny, Buckeye Morphs. What is good? We have an awesome guest on the show tonight. I consider him one of the OGs of the ball python world. He's been doing it for a little bit, a lot of it, and you have a metallic sound. Maybe the echo's on. And yeah, can't wait to have him on the show. So here is Troy, Best Dress Balls. What is up?
Hey.
Is my mic sounding weird?
So like when I can hear myself, it's echoing. Like I can hear me.
Oh, you know what? Junior is failing me. All right, let's see if that helps.
Blame it on the kids.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Or do you still hear yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I don't hear it anymore.
All right, cool. That's what happens when you have preteens help you.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
So, man, we are getting close to Arlington.
Yeah, it's getting exciting.
I'm getting nervous. I'm getting nervous about it.
Yeah, I get that. I think even I get nervous, just the lack of time that we have with everybody, and like, just being prepared and being excited. You're nervous about just being excited to get there, and so yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, I'm like, all the preparations are kind of lining up. I mean, a lot of it's done. I want to do a once over on every tub before we go down. Just to make sure that humidity and temperatures are perfect.
Sure.
So that if a snake is sitting on eggs for a week, I don't have to stress,
Yeah. You don't have anybody local to you, a friend or anything that can double check or anything, or?
I have one person that can come on Friday. So that's it.
Okay.
So they're coming Friday, and
yeah, and you're back on Monday. So yeah. So our son, he's 19. He'll check on everything for me and be able to put snake eggs and stuff away. And I always make sure like I have a container ready when I leave, so he's not having to prep it. It's just ready. All I need to do is get the eggs out, and yeah, I get it, man. That's nerve-wracking too, right? Like I'm away for 5 or 6 days or 4 or 5 days, whatever people go. And it is nerve-wracking. Like even having somebody here every day, it lives in my house. It's not me. It's not me doing it. And so it's a little nerve-wracking.
Oh yeah. I mean, then there's like little tasks. Like I was like, man, I want to bring shirts down.
Yeah.
So I pumped out 55 shirts yesterday.
Oh, nice, man.
And then I filled up a box today.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what? There's so many people I'm going to see that I want to get shirts to. Nice. So instead of me spending $5 to ship it to everyone, I might as well just ship it all to my hotel. I was going to ship it to Dave's house, and then I decided to ship it to the hotel.
Well, you get two free checked bags at Southwest for each one of you. So that's 10 bags. Do you have an extra suitcase you could just pack them in?
Oh shit, I didn't know that. I was going to ask you that during this live stream. Well,
yeah,
kind of too late. I already paid for the shipping. I think it's going to be crazy. LaGuardia is kind of nuts. And then hey Jules, hey Nathaniel. Sorry. I'm trying to go with the least amount as humanly possible.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, the box is like it's 16 pounds. I'm bringing 45 shirts, bunch of hats.
Cool.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just drop it off at the post office, not have to deal with it. That'll be good for the drive back, the fly back.
Yeah.
But now that I know 2 checked bags per person.
Yeah. Yep. Up to 50 pounds each bag.
Oh shit. Yeah, we have 2 suitcases. So, we don't do the shit. So I'm gonna have to go and pick something up then, because we
Yeah,
got like random shit. Like my little ones can't swim, so we got it. So we ordered floaties, and just random stuff to have there. I
sure.
want to make sure I have
Yeah,
stickers and business cards and
yeah. No, I get that, man. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited, man. I really am. I just excited to get around everybody and be, so many of us talk in, Instagram chats and on the telephone and text messages, and that's great, right? Like, I'm not dogging on that. That's absolutely great. But like, there's nothing better than being like, together, in the same room or in the same spot or at the same dinner table, and being able to have, I think, that, that friendship, in-person friendship. And so I think that's always what I'm, most excited for. And I love friendship. I love meeting new people. I love, gaining friends. And so, I always think, as much as it's nice to see the people I know, I'm also excited to meet people I haven't met, or whatever. And so, yeah, man, it'll be a good time. Arlington will be a really, really good time. What
yeah,
up, B?
I'm so excited. I mean, I don't know if there's any plans going on. Like, what's the deal with down there? I didn't. We never talked about hog hunting.
Oh, you see, yeah, that would be pretty badass, man. Like, and that's the problem, is it's just so packed. Like, your time gets so packed. And so, for me and you, like, we get in a little early, but like, I get in Wednesday night. My Thursday is kind of already pre-planned with some of the guys I'm coming with. And then Friday, like, we'll set up. And usually, even though setup might only take 10 minutes or an hour, you still end up spending like a good half a day there, because you're talking to other vendors, and like, especially with a lot of us not seeing each other a lot at shows because of COVID. um I think that's more so. So then I think like Friday's kind of shot. Friday night for me, we had a pre-planned dinner with some people, and then Saturday, you have the show. Saturday night's the auction, and that's a really good time. And if you haven't been there, I think you should. And so, I will
Where's
try to
the
pop in.
auction?
So
The
the auction
auction's
will
not there,
happen.
right?
Yeah, the auction happens, if it's the same. The auction happens in the convention center, just in a separate room, um, closer to the hotel side, to the Sheraton side.
Because it looked like a rodeo. Like, I saw a video of last year's auction. Bobby Vu posted it,
Okay.
and it was on dirt. It looked like.
No, I don't know where they were. Yeah, the auction's in the convention center. They went to a rodeo.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, because I hear that people get talked into riding a bull,
Yeah.
and my fat ass will not do that.
No. Yeah, Miguel or something broke a rib or some shit, I think. I can't remember how that all went.
Bobby
Um,
Vu said he couldn't walk for a couple days, and I'm like, Bobby Vu was like a jacked dude, like good shape.
yeah, you're not going to catch me on anything that can overpower me. That just sounds stupid.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to ride a
No.
mini horse.
Yeah, I don't even like to ride a bike.
Yeah.
Like,
Ironically, last time I rode a bike, I tried doing a wheelie and landed on my ass.
that would be me. So yeah, man, I get it. I get it. Well,
I don't know. It's not. It's riding the bull sounds fun, but you ever do like the mechanical bulls in a bar?
oh man, I think I've done that one time that I can think of, years ago. And it's funny because when I do see them, I'm always like, oh, that looks like so much fun. At the same time, I'm old, and even being bucked off a fake bull onto fluffy air, whatever. For some reason, I find that I'd probably get hurt.
See, I did it, and I felt like I was on that fucking thing forever until I saw the video.
It's like 3 seconds.
Oh, I don't even think it was 3 seconds. Like, it just turned and tilted, and I just flopped over the other side, and
Yeah,
wow, how long
yeah.
was that? And they're like, probably 2 seconds.
A while back, man, years ago, the wife and I went to Key West, and popular bar down there. I don't even know the name of it. I'm sure somebody listening might. But anyways, they had a mechanical bull in there, and they have a webcam. And so I found myself for like weeks on end watching this webcam, like, you know, drunk women just getting thrown off this bull, or some big dude. Like, it was so funny, you know. I don't know if that webcam's still going. Like it said, it was years ago, but I had a lot of enjoyment. That webcam gave me a lot of enjoyment.
Oh shit! And it's a
Yeah.
live webcam of the
Yeah, they
mechanical
had a
bull.
live webcam. Yeah, they had like a dance floor, the bar, and then the mechanical bull. And so, man, it was a good time. It was fun to come home and be able to continue watching that.
I can't wait because it feels like there's a whole bunch of us that I consider friends, like
Yeah,
legit friends.
yeah,
And it's just weird, like you were saying, like we haven't met each other in person,
right.
but we've talked hours, you know.
Hmm.
So it's going to be cool, and I mean, I think the
Yeah,
whole concept of Arlington is nice because everyone from the East Coast and then everyone from the West Coast kind of meeting right over there in Texas, and I mean,
right. Yeah, yeah. I told Nick and Jules, like, same thing. Like, I met Nick for lunch a while back, and so we got to spend kind of a, lunch into the afternoon, just hanging out, me, him, and Lisa. And then I had never really met Jules. And so we went over there a couple weeks ago, and I was telling Jules, like, same thing, right? Like, I feel so close to so many of you, and just as close to people I've known since I was in kindergarten. And yet I've never physically met you. And
yeah,
and I think that's, maybe that's the times we live in, right? We can be connected through YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and friendships can be forged, I guess, right? And so yeah, man, it's just an added bonus, right? It's the cherry on top that I finally get to meet some of these people in the flesh. And yeah, man, I really really look forward to it.
yeah. There's a lot of things. I mean, I definitely look forward to seeing your setup because I only see it in pictures.
Well,
Uh,
I'm gonna disappoint you, man, come snake wise, because I might not even be able to fill a display. Normally I have 6 displays. I'm only bringing 2, and I don't even know if I'll be able to fill the both of them.
yeah, you know what? I feel you there, man. I mean, I was
But
down to
then,
I think 8 snakes, and then
yeah,
someone
yeah.
came by today and bought another.
All right. Yeah,
So,
I think I'm down to 20, 28 or something. I might bring a couple breeder males with me that I could possibly move. So I'm gonna probably bring 2 displays and a tower. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting. Like, so many of us are in that deal right now. JSA, JD from JD Constriction, myself, uh, B1, Kevin from KDF. I've talked with him, Josh Jackie, and like his circle. Like, so many of those guys have, that are 4 and 5 and 6 displays, 8 displays. We're bringing 1 and 2 and 3, and so I think what it really says, Chino, is that we've all had a really good year. Like,
yeah.
COVID probably helped the snake industry in a way. Like, people were at home.
Oh
Some
hell
people
yeah.
got some free money. Some people got some added, unemployment checks. And so maybe for some people, maybe they had more disposable income than normal. And so I sold more snakes off Morph Market this year than, the previous, from when Morph Market opened and started, combined. And so, yeah, man, I think a lot of us are short. I just had my first clutch hatch for 2021, so I can't bring them. Um, so I mean, things are just starting to hatch, and so it'll be an interesting year show wise on how we go forward as far as what we'll have to set up. And to add to that, I think I'll probably end up even I'll probably reach out to somebody I trust, like a Garrett DeMeyer or somebody, and be like, hey, do you have, 5 or 10 pieds or something? Because come June, right? So I'm in Arlington end of April, nothing in May, and then June I'll do the Tinley show, which is Schaumburg or whatever you want to call it, whatever. And I'm afraid I won't have anything. So like I may
Yeah.
have to call somebody just to be. And the thing is you have to be honest about some of that stuff. I think like people came to my table, I would tell them like, hey, these came from Garrick. I just didn't want to show up and have absolutely nothing on my table. So even if I
Yeah.
only bring 5 pieds from another guy, I would be comfortable, I think, with that. I'm not definitely against guys that flip. I don't really consider that flipping. I think if you buy from somebody that's a trusted source that feeds their animals correctly and takes care of them and they're not sick and shit like that, I'm not buying them one day
Yeah.
and flipping them the next. Like I'll probably reach out to them this week and try to get them ahead of time just in case. But it's crazy, man. Everybody I talk to, everybody is short. Everybody's got a minimal display.
Yeah. The last show I went with one less display.
Okay.
And then as I said, I mean, after that show when I did the YouTube video, I got all these I had all these calls. So, I shipped 3 to Texas 2 weeks ago, and then the guy called me up and was like, dude, I'm sold out already. I need
Yeah.
more. What do you got? And
All right.
that clutch that just hatched with, the albino, the head albino to the pied head albino, that clutch. He was like, well, he's like, it's not much, but I'll take every male of the possible double hets. And I'm like, all right, well, look at that. I hit that clutch really screwed me. I popped them today. I
Yeah.
got 2 females. So I got 2 females out of 7 and 1 albino out of 7. But it is what it is.
Done that, my friend. Yeah, that
It's all
sucks.
part of the game.
Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck it. They're already sold. I'll get 10 meals in them fast and ship them out to Texas.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, man. It's what did I just do? It is. And it's like I said, like I've never actually had to do a wholesale purchase or something like whatever you want to call it. This would be a first for me if I have to reach out to somebody just to have a couple things on the table. And I'm not afraid to go to Tenley and not have anything. Maybe I bring some shirts. Maybe I sit there. Maybe I put a sign up, when I go walk around or whatever. I would just hate to not have. I would feel bad not having anything, and I'm afraid that's what it's looking like. I've had people already reach out to me. I've got a friend or not a friend. I have a contact in Thailand that I've been selling some stuff to. He just reached out to me, like they're begging for snakes. And so he's like, man, what do you all have, kind of thing. And so I could probably tell him, and he would probably buy a bulk of it, or maybe, and then I have less and less to take to either Arlington or Tinley, and it's scary to think, man. It's scary and like really cool at the same time that I've done so well, and so has everybody else that I talk to. I don't like to see anybody not succeed, and so I think everybody's boat is about the same, right? Like I think we're all kind of shorthanded. So yeah, but I think I'll have a really big ending to my year. Like my clutches are starting to lay now. I'll get the bulk of them in the summer. I really feel ultrasounding and looking at the follicle growth right now. Like I'll probably have some later girls to go. So man, I think like come summer and fall, like I'll be loaded up. So those shows, Arlington in September, Tenley or whatever you want to say in October, whether or not we do the St. Louis show, whether or not we go back out to California, like I really feel the later shows this year will have a really good display of stuff. I think where I'm going to hurt is right now in these spring shows.
Yeah, the way I've been looking at it, because I want to pick up more shows. The sales, the projected sales already happened, right? So it's not like I'm sitting on, well, not sitting, because I don't like that word, sitting on these animals. It's not like I still have a high inventory and I'm bringing it to the show so I can, sell them.
Yeah,
it's the money's there, and the show's really, I mean, you show it's not just about the sales at the shows. It's about meeting people. It's about educating. It's also a rush. I mean, I like it. It reminds me of the restaurant business. It's like you're
like you're busy
prepping
the
to
whole
get
time.
ready. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now I got Junior. Junior can man the table. So
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, to add to your point, like, I go into a show really with no expectation to sell. I think that a show for me is marketing and developing friendships and connections and networking. I think the guys that go in with just the mindset of the dollars, they're the guy that you're set up next to that's like, oh, I only sold 6 snakes for $800 and it doesn't cover my trip and it doesn't cover this and that. And I'm like, it's not, to me, that's not really the point. Like, you're really selling yourself at the show. Like, people are getting to meet you in person, see your animals in person, get to judge your booth or your displays, and maybe put together like, okay, this guy seems like a clean guy, or this lady seems like a clean person, and blah blah blah, right? Like, and so I really do, man. I really try to go into the mindset of just, it's not about the sales at a show, it's about connection.
yeah. And it's fucking fun, man. It's fun.
A good time.
There's so many pros. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I've never, so knock on wood, I've never done a show where it didn't pay off the investment.
And either have I. So, that's, yeah, I've certainly I've never really been skunked.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
So, I mean, I've had it where I only made $100, but that's fine because everything's paid off. And then, like, I always, you got to put into the cost the next show, because I don't know how the shows are down there, but up here, at the end of the show, they're calling, oh, to reserve your table for next show, you have to pay for your table. So you always want to get that out of the way as well. And fast food for the drive home,
Yeah. Yeah, man. And just to talk about how we do show stuff, at Arlington, typically, if I sell, whether it's $100 or $10,000, I'm paying for the next show right away. And so basically, then that next show, hopefully my first show then paid for it, right? So, like, I've tried to get on a point where I'm not really paying for my show spot at the show. I've already paid for that investment. So I'm coming into the show, with sort of zero debt. Like, obviously it cost me something to get there and whatnot, but I try to pay, Airbnb or hotel or whatever, a rental car. I put that money aside. And so I really try to take care of all of it ahead of time, so I don't have that on my shoulders like some guys, man. And if any of you end up vending, you're going to run into this where you're set up next to somebody that bitches about how much money it costs them to get there and how much money the table costs and how much they haven't sold. That person is doing it. I don't want to say they're doing it wrong. It's not for me to say. It's not for me to judge them. But I don't want that added pressure of, oh shit, I got to pay for this. I got to pay for this $500 table. Like,
yeah,
I would rather pay for it ahead of time with sales that I did. Same. I buy snakes with snake money. Like, I think you have to find a system that works for you. But man, shows are just, I really hope people see the point of shows being more about networking and having fun, getting to see some cool animals. And maybe you're at whatever level you're at, you're like, hey, maybe I can't afford this certain snake, but I got to see it, and now my passion is more for it. And maybe they go to work an extra hour or two every day or whatever they have to do, right? Because they got to see it, touch it, feel it, whatever. And now now they call you and they buy that snake after the fact. So I sell probably more after the fact than I do at the show. And I think a lot of it comes from that. People get a passion for what they saw. So
yeah, the people that complain about the show, I feel like it's not good overall. It's not good because then you're psyching yourself out. And I mean, I've been next to people where it's like, it's not even noon and they're already bitching, like, oh, this show sucks. No one's buying nothing here. And I'm like, well, I kind of sold a few things. And then you can see them at their table. They're staring at their phone. They're ignoring people that come by. They're in a bitchy mood all day. They're fighting with who's vending with them. And I mean, overall, it doesn't work out. People want to hang out when your table's fun.
Yes, you are absolutely right, Chino. I 100% agree with that, man. I could tell 100 stories of guys who bitch, and if I took a picture of them, they're cold, right? They're not standing up. They're not talk. I try to talk to anybody that comes to the table. Yet there's times where like maybe I'm answering a text or something like that. For me, it's me and Lisa, so like we're really good about making sure one of us is always talking to people, even like the people just walking by, like, hey man, how you doing? You enjoying the show? Like, and I don't want to say that's like salesmanship, because for me, I want to think it's genuine. I really do enjoy people. I come from a point in life where I didn't, and I really turned that table for myself. And man, now like I absolutely just love meeting people. And so, for me and Lisa, we work well together. You stand up, you don't sit down. You stand up, you talk to people, you project yourself. Like you're kind. I try to answer even the quote unquote the dumbest questions. I don't think it's really a dumb question, but man, I'm there to help, right? I'm there to help build the business for all of us and not just myself. Yeah. And I've heard so many other people, Justin and Billy, all the big guys, like same thing. Like without us taking those shows and getting people into the reptile world and showing them that they're not scary animals, whether it's reptile or snake or whatever you want to say, four-legged or whatever. I'm terrified. Man, I'm not terrified anymore. I was terrified of spiders, like definitely scared of spiders. I would make my mom come to my house to kill spiders at one point in my life. And now, man, like those people set up by me, and I'm so intrigued, and I'll talk to them, and they'll show me things. And I mean, I don't want to hold them because I don't think I'll ever get to that point of enjoyment of that. But I'm a billion times better than I ever was, because somebody took the time to answer my stupid questions and talk to me about my fear, and I think we see so much of that on the reptile, if it's crested geckos or if it's snakes that are like, oh, I hear these crested geckos jump at you. And I'm like, yeah, they do, but it's fun. Here, try it. Like, and same with snakes. Like, oh, they're slimy. They'll bite me. They want to strangle my child, blah, blah. Like, no, they don't. Put this one in your hand. It's going to ball up and it doesn't want anything to do with you, And so, yeah, man, I really like the educational side of meeting people and getting to, teach them something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an incredible experience. It's nice, that whole transitioning someone from fear to admiration, them admiring the animals within 10 minutes of hanging at your table.
Right? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
I mean, that's why I bring the roaches. I have fun with the roaches, man. I bring almost 4-inch adult Madagascar hissers. And and then when people walk by and they're like, "Oh, roach," and I'm like, "Come on, hold it." And they're like, "No." I'm like, "It's harmless." And then all of a sudden they come back, and then before you know it, they're taking selfies holding a fucking giant cockroach. It's it's great.
Yeah, man, I do. I really enjoy that. I enjoy watching it, even like if you were doing that with a family or something, man, I would get enjoyment out of just seeing that happening. And so, yeah, man, it's a cool deal.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like in New York. We're so like, there's no expos in New York, and like my biggest joy, I love kids. I wish I could afford to have more, but we're done. We're tapped out of 3, and hopefully one day we can afford to adopt, and we will if we can.
That's cool, man. I'm adopted
for now.
For that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I wanna like I have fun with the kids, Now with the whole face masks and all that shit, like face masks, they cost me $4.
Yeah.
So I'll bring 30 of them. And then when a little kid comes up to the table, I'm like, "Hey, can I give you a present?" And they're like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "Here, pick one of these masks." And you see them get all excited. They got their reptile mask to walk around the expo with.
Yeah. We always try to give like kids shirts and obviously stickers and stuff. And And even like I always try to, I rarely, I guess it's gonna sound somewhat stupid or cocky, but I rarely have normals anymore. That sounded really bad.
Gosh.
But like I would always keep like a decent amount of them, and I would, when a kid was serious, like the parent was like, "Hey, we're buying our first snake," blah 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 blah. A lot of times we would just give it to them, right? Like
Yeah.
I wanted to invest in them so that they would come back to me. So I'm giving them a $8 snake, right? Let's be honest. I think people at shows sell them for 30, $40. I do too. But we don't typically have a lot of money invested in a normal. And so, we would hold back 5 or 6 of them, and you would pretty well every time I would get rid of them. I don't mean to get rid of them, but you know what I mean. I would give them to somebody that, they came by, they asked me to walk over to Triple L Reptile or whatever it was at the show. Can you help me pick out the tank? Can you help me pick out, what I need? Like blah blah. So like when you get to invest that time with them, and they see you walk away from your booth, and you're helping them buy everything you need, and then they come back to the booth, and I'm like, hey man, how about you just take this normal for free? Like they're just so thrilled. And so I've really established some pretty awesome connections with kids and their parents, right? And so I hear from the parents, and they've bought snakes, they've kept in touch, and we've had kids Facebook message us and stuff, and so it's been fun, man. The kids do bring a lot of light and a lot of joy to it.
Yeah, I mean, I've sold $20 pastels for the same thing. Like it's a pastel male. In a breeder's point of view, no one's going to want a single gene pastel male, but this 12-year-old that is watching YouTube videos and is reading articles and is, trying to talk his parents into it. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And then you're like, well, let's take a walk and find a setup for it.
Yeah.
And then you can see what you want to do. And then, then all of a sudden they get the 75% off, discount just because.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's awesome, man. It's important, I think for any vendors out there, we should be investing into the kids. I mean, they're truly your future, right? Like me and you we're always gonna be older, right? And getting older. And so, I certainly hope to be in this for as long as possible. And but I think for our industry, it dies without new people and new blood. And so that's children, right? You got to spark their interest, get them into it. And I think all of us could probably name, I mean, there's some kids I've met through Instagram, Tyler. Tyler's, what is it? Tyler's Toxic Balls or something. I can't think of what it's called.
That's it.
Yeah. So Tyler's out in New York, I think, right? Is he in your area? I think he's out that way.
He's not in New York, or maybe he is, but he's
I think he's out in the East Coast somewhere.
He's like Buffalo somewhere. He's not close to me.
Yeah,
I know
he called
me.
Nice, it's so cool, man. Like he called me one time and wanted to buy like a whatever it was, $1,000 snake or something, and he's a 15-year-old kid, and I'm like, man, I'm like, hey man, I love talking to you, man, but I really need to talk to your mom and dad. And then you hear from the parents, and they're like, hey man, he talks about you all the time, or he's really excited about the snake, and we're really happy he's getting it. Thanks for the time you've given him, and whatever. And it's really neat to hear the parents be involved. My mom and dad wanted nothing to do with animals, man. I mean, I had a hamster as a child, and the minute I turned 18 and I was out of the house, man, my reptile side of things exploded, and that's really what led me to where I'm at now. But Michael, we actually think it'll be funny if Michael never has a pet, because he's had nothing but animals in his life, and he sees how much time we put into taking care of them and stuff. So he certainly enjoys his guinea pigs, but I wonder in life if he's gonna tell his kids, like, no, you get no animals. Like your grandfather had too many. So
do you want to be like grandma and grandpa with all their animals?
Yeah. But it is, man. I do. I mean, I certainly could talk for hours about just how much joy meeting the kids and their families, and seeing them learn and be invested and stuff, man. It is. It's just it's very joyful.
Oh yeah. Speaking about Tyler, like I think I'm a nobody. I don't think of me of anything. I think I'm Chino of DMJ Reptiles. I'm a regular human being just like everyone else.
Yep, me too. Yep.
But I love the phone calls I get from Tyler.
Yeah,
because it's cool to
calculated.
hear such a young, motivated, calculated kid that is like, okay, well, so this female just hit 1,800 grams, and she's this. Do I go for the visuals and go and produce hets, or do I go 66 and go for the gamble? And I mean, the fucking kid knows. He knows.
Yeah.
He's right on that shit.
A couple times on the phone, like, hey man, you're gonna be the next true like JKR, like that. You're gonna be that guy someday. Like if I would have started this at 15 and kept with it, like man, think of where you would be, And so that kid amazes me, and to save up the money that he does to put into animals that cost what some of us are selling stuff for, quote unquote like higher end animals. That's not what I was doing at 15. I was trying to stay out of juvie, like I was in trouble, and man, I really enjoy his passion for it.
Yeah. I mean, at 15, I was too busy chasing girls and hobbies. It wasn't like I had my reptiles. I had my anoles and my Senegal chameleons. But I was more about, throwing parties in the woods.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was our thing. We had dirt bikes. We were all about dirt bikes, and we kind of lucked out because up the street from us, well, it's not really lucked out. I just want the bottle. Oh, thanks. So Carvel ice cream. You ever hear of Carvel ice cream?
Well, I don't think I know that one. Mm-mm.
Really? Carvel's like a massive ice cream company. Tom Carvel. He started it in the 70s, I want to say. It's all over the Northeast coast. Well, Tom Carvel his house, he had a mansion that was like 4 blocks over, like through the woods. And he died, and his dream was to make all this land into wood, keep it as a natural preserve. And his wife kept it, and then his wife got dementia, and the kids sold the fucking land under them.
It's too bad.
Yeah, really shitty. So my dead end road turned into like they're building these $2 million houses that like fucking Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez are looking at houses over there,
Yeah.
But it was perfect for us because we were fucking going up there with skateboards, we had unlimited supply of wood, man. We were 2x4s, 2x10s. We had tree houses, multiple tree houses. We had crazy dirt bike trumps, and I mean that was like our thing.
Yeah.
So
I remember the first half pipe. Yeah, we had a kid that's dad was a dentist or orthodontist, and he begged his dad to let him build and they lived in the woods like that, just off the trail. And he built a half pipe right off the trail, right in their backyard, man. And I remember that to this day. I still ride my bike or walk with Lisa or something on that trail, man. I still think about it every time I walk by there.
It's crazy.
The good times. Yeah, we could just go back.
I think how young these guys are getting in. Like my son is finally getting motivated. Like it was a chore, but now he's getting excited. He's got, 3 snakes. He's like, ooh, when are we going to pair up this snake? When are we going to pair up that one? And I'm like,
yeah.
And it's
Michael's very motivated by money, which is fine. I think that's not a bad trait in this world, but I also think money leads to a lot of greed and whatever self-satisfying, jackwagons. And so he sees the money, that I may sell a snake for, $4 or $5 grand, and that's few and far between. So please don't think I mean that. He sees that a lot. And that motivates him. And sometimes he talks with me, and he works for John Dagg, and John has, some really expensive snakes as well. He gets to see the Stormtrooper, every other day or whatever. And so he's just very motivated by money. And I think, for my kid, like he could probably easily be persuaded by me and his mom to, maybe take this seriously, like take the snake side of things seriously. My fear for him is that he only sees dollars. He sees the snake and it's $1 to him. And we see an animal and we see its genetics and we know its quirks and he just doesn't see those things. And so I kind of would hate for my son currently to get involved, because I think he'd be getting involved for all the wrong reasons. But
Yeah.
he's talked about, like, he has a college fund that my parents gave him, and he ended up going to a community college instead of a expensive, private state school or whatever you call them. And so he has a little bit of money left over. He's hinted like, oh, if I bought, because he'll hear me talking to you or whoever, and I'll be like, oh man, I could buy this pair for $4,000 and blah blah blah. I could make this with them, and he'll hear me and he'll be like, what if I bought them? Like, would you help me? Blah blah blah. So like sometimes, but again, man, he hears the dollars, and so
Yeah.
I've yet to push him, into actually wanting to do anything with them, but. Maybe someday, maybe he comes around. He wants to be a nurse anesthetist or whatever, put you to sleep, right? Put you to sleep nurse. And it's weird, man, to not know as a parent, which I just don't. I'm not a very corporate guy. I need to work for myself. I don't do well in a corporate setting. I do see the benefit, right? I see why it sounds good. Michael can make a good living, have health insurance and a 401k and all that shit, and have a great life. And that's really all we want, right? As a parent, that, man. I just want him to have a great life. But if I could have him have a great life and be able to do this, with me, like, man, that would be absolutely awesome. Man, I would love to work with my kid every day, other than we butt heads a lot, but. It's cool that your kid's young, man, and into it. I hope he stays that way.
I think he will. And it's when it broke down everything, it was definitely money that motivated him.
Oh yeah.
Money definitely.
Which I think at your kid's age, it's more normal.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was like a chore. It'd be like, all right, come on, let's feed geckos. Like, oh, it's gecko night. But then, like, it was like that show. He sold a gecko for $50, and I was like, well, here, take 40. And done. Then all of a sudden, he was like, oh, all of it? I'm like, yeah, all of it. He must have sold like 15 animals that show. And then that's where it like woke up, and and I was explaining to him with the snakes, because he wants to be more involved with the snakes too, with buying, with purchasing.
All right.
I'm like, but you gotta. And I could be a dick. I'm like, well, you gotta crawl before you can walk, buddy. Like, you can't just jump in and buy, and so I'm like, why don't you do your research and go on Morph Market and just start looking at snakes that you like, whether it's something, because he has a pastel clown male. He has a pastel clown male. Dennis from Busy Balls gave him a champagne albino male.
All right.
And he has a pastel yellow belly, like a 3,500 gram pastel yellow belly. But I'm like, just start doing your research. It caught his eye, the lesser clowns, which I'm like, cool. I'm like, well, what do you like about it? He's like, oh, well, the tone is different. And the reason why he says tone is Junior is actually colorblind. So
we should just
there's something about it that looks different.
Yeah, he should just get into some Xanthics and make it easier.
Yeah, I mean, because he has the rough one too, where like everything's brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so everything's brown. Like, grass is brown in his eyes. Green street sign,
the glasses or whatever that help.
We talked about it with the doctor and all that, and they were like, if those glasses work for one person out of 20, that's a lot.
Oh, okay.
So, do you really want to spend $300 to find out they don't work? Because insurance isn't going to cover it.
Right.
And I was like, nah, I don't think I want to.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of stuff is like, so greens, blues, yellows, and red. A lot of them turn brown. They're just brown. There's different shades brown for them,
Huh.
which we had no idea until they said, you know, your son's colorblind, right? I'm like, no idea. He must have been like 10 years old already. So then they
That's so
told us,
neat.
and then we were like, then it was like so curious, you know, like we're just driving, we're just taking walks. I'm like, what color is that? What color is that? What color is that? It's like brown, brown. I'm like, fuck, everything's fucking brown.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's wacky, you know. But so I figured he'd be more of a pattern guy, you know, because he'll see blushing and he'll see, you know, like little transitions and all of that. I would think that just like who is it? CH Pythons, Carlo Hernandez. He's colorblind.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, Charles, another Filipino person. He said that that's why he's into, you know, pattern changes. You know, that's what motivates him to what he has.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think Junior's real. He has a big passion for the Cresteds. He
Yeah.
enjoys the Cresteds. He's not a fan of the Lychees. He's scared of the Lychees.
All right.
And the guards.
I think that's what I would like to grab is some lychees. That's probably next for me, but
You know, the Lychees, the babies are kind of like, you know, when you hatch out ball pythons and you got that one prick in there that just tags you every time. That's how baby lychees are. At least mine are. I don't know, man. My baby lychees, like, they're fast. They have a decent bite, and they're intimidating, man. You open up their bin. We have them in bins. You open up their bin, and they're like showing aggression and so fast, and they're making sounds at you and opening their mouth and threatening you. And
all right,
and they're not that small, you know. They grow so fucking fast, so it's already like decent size. But it's funny because he's like, oh, Dad, that's the one that bites. That's the one that bites. I'm like, what? And I shove my hand in there, and he's like, Mom, look, he's holding it. I'm like, you're so afraid of getting bit. You're never, you know.
Yeah.
They'll learn. Oh, yeah. Tom in the house.
Yeah.
So
how
many clutches do you have so far?
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, so 5, so 6 total. One just hatched. The other one, well, technically 2 have hatched, but one of them's out of the incubator. The other one, they're still coming out of their eggs. So I have 4 after that, and then I have 1, 2, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 35, 36, 30. I have 37 that I'm pretty positive will lay.
Yeah, you got the ultrasound, so that got to give you somewhat of a boost in confidence.
Yeah, it's definitely helped. Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, it's definitely been a big help. And as for as many years as I thought, well, you know, I don't really need it. I can just see the signs. I can try to palpate, blah blah blah. $1,000, man, is $1,000. It can go a lot of different ways, and but it's probably one of the things I spent $1,000 or a little more than that in this industry that I really wish I would have bought earlier, and it's really helped me out, and it's been neat to see the follicles like grow. So I started ultrasounding on February 22nd, and I did it like the 22nd. I did it like I did it 22nd and then March 22nd, but I think I did a few of them in between there too. So I did March 22nd, like February 22nd, March 20th, and then I did right at the beginning of April, and then I just did it everything last Sunday night again. And so 3 or 4 times on pretty well most of the animals. And it's been just really neat to see, like, you know, some I did in February were 10.4, and now, you know, on Sunday they were 21.5. But I've also did ones that, you know, were 10.5, 11.5, 11.7, and then the 4th time they were 21 something. So like they grow differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been kind of neat just to see the differences in animals. And I spent a quick minute on the phone with Justin, asking him kind of some questions if there's any right or wrong to knowing that. And like follicle growth is different between the animals, and so it's just been really educational. And it's really nice to be able to like continually see a for sure growth instead of like palpating and be like, well, I think they're bigger. You know, like I get that you can feel from maybe dime to nickel to quarter, but just those little, and just actually visually seeing it is been very, very helpful. So what make and model ultrasound do you have? I have it's on Amazon. It starts with a C. Context, right? Yeah. Yep. And the one note that I would tell you, if you buy that one, you just need to, if you buy it from Amazon, you hit the little drop down menu and you need to change it to the linear paddle and not the concaved paddle or whatever. You want the linear paddle.
Yeah.
Context. It's like $1,200-ish, $12 or $1,300, I think. With
it's $1,200 right now, shipped, free shipping, $1,200 with the linear probe.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I love it. So
yeah, guys keep talking about it. And then, like, you know, I kind of been in, you know, we've been in the chat with Hardy talking about it. And then just to see that, and one day he got it all figured out. It's pretty wild. Me and Gomez Pythons have been going back and forth. Me and Sal have been talking about it. And at first he was going to buy one. He was like, dude, I'm just going to drive to your house and we'll just fucking go through all your animals. And I was like, cool. But then he didn't buy one. And then, you know, a lot of people are showing them, and I'm seeing these benefits. And I mean, you know, like certain things, for example, my heavy hitting male, the Banana Desert Ghost Hepi. You know, if I do it the old school way, which I do, is, you know, they end up getting paired up, you know, 4 times before I get eggs, you know?
Sure.
So it kind of limits you with the amount of females you can put that snake with.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I get this and I can say, okay, well, the follicles are at 10 millimeters, I throw them in for 1 lock, and then I wait until they're 25 before I go for the third, you know, and go 3 locks instead of 6 locks. That's capable of allowing me to breed maybe 3 more females to that male.
Yep.
And then the other aspect is, so I don't know if I miss.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like the way I know that I didn't miss is because I have babies. I have eggs.
Right.
But how many females am I missing a year?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's really giving me some info. Like just the other night, I pulled one out, and sure enough, she's got like some 10 millimeter follicles. So that's not very big, but to keep them going, like I threw a male in with her, you know, and we'll see what happens. I think for next year, I was always a plug and play guy. So I would just, okay, this animal's going to go to these 5 girls, and I put them in on a Sunday night. If he locked that night, you know, when he unlocked Monday night, then maybe Monday night or Tuesday morning, I would put him in with another one. I might give him like a day break, and then I would continue him down that list of animals, right? And sometimes, man, I would pair guys, you know, like I have one that I paired like 13 times since I started before having the ultrasound, and then getting the ultrasound and finding out that like her follicle growth was just hadn't really happened. So I wasted it. And so, yeah, you could spread out a male much better with the ultrasound knowledge, I think, than anything else. And yeah, man, I'm excited to see. I've got some girls here that I haven't paired yet. They're maybe on the smaller side, 1,300 grams, but they're eating. Maybe they get to 14, 15. Typically, I'll pair them anyways, but I haven't been because I'm kind of curious to see, like, maybe what happens. I can keep ultrasounding them. A couple of them, like I said, I threw a male in just to see how far they go into the summer. Maybe, I don't know. An ultrasound, man, just gives you a lot of info that you might think but it gives you a lot of in-between info that you don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And that's really, I mean, so this is what's motivating me to wanting it. And I will have leftover money for my tax return. So I'm like, I have 30 females that are all around 1,400 grams that I've produced in the last, 3 to 4 years. I don't want to breed them unless I'm feeling follicles, and I don't want to. I want a more educated. I don't want it to be an educated guess versus a concrete visual answer to it.
Right.
And just like what Davis said, if I get one more, if you get one more clutch in one season, that already pays off the machine.
Yeah, whether they're $100 animals or $1,000 animals, like, yeah, it's going to pay for itself pretty quickly. And for example, like, I started my season in October, and where are you at? You're right there. So I started my season for this girl on October 16th. And when I started ultrasounding on February 22nd, let me just make sure I line this up right so I'm looking right. She was 12.7 on February 22nd, but yet I bred her umpteen times between October 16th and February 22nd that I didn't necessarily need to do at all. I could have started breeding her on February 22nd and still got to where I am now. So now she's at, I think she's at like 32, like 32.2.
She's getting close.
Right, yeah, getting really close. And so, I could have just bred from February 22nd to now and saved
4 months of pairing.
Yeah, I mean, she locked like 12 times before that. So that's 12 times that male went through stress or whatever you want to say that I didn't need to do, right? And so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with plug and play. I've done that for the 8 years prior to this. And then back when Lisa and I started 20 some years ago and had Burmese pythons and things like that, I never had an ultrasound or anything then either, right? Back then they were probably, 100 grand or something anyways. And so they're affordable at this point. Again, I don't like to throw around that just $1,200 is affordable. A lot more affordable than, $50K or something, you know what I mean? Like years ago. And so it is, man. I think like now knowing that, I think the next year I can maybe start a little earlier. Like maybe I start looking at them in October just to see what they do have. Because I obviously have had some clutches that would have started earlier, but that particular scenario, if I would have found that out, I wouldn't have started pairing until February. And so save a whole lot of stuff. I gotta send that guy. I gotta send that guy a snake when I get back from Arlington.
He's getting one.
Yeah, kind of. I sent him another snake, man, and just to be sure, it's a snake that I'm pretty positive I've ID'd correctly, but if there's, I guess maybe there's just a hunch that if I am wrong, I don't want to be wrong, and so I'm sending him another one just to make sure I'm good.
I didn't even know that Elliot had a snake.
Huh? Yep, I think it was Elliot. Oh, you know what? No, it's not Elliot. I'm sorry, man. I'm throwing you into a story that you're not part of. I was thinking of somebody else. Don't pay any attention to me.
I mean, I think the other thing with the ultrasound too is, every year of breeding, I never had issues with males going off food until 2021. It's so fucking weird. Like this season, every one of my males went off food. Every
Huh.
fucking one of them. And it's never happened to me before. Like I've had them at the end of the breeding season. Once it's like March, like March, April, when we're getting close to eggs. Because my original breeding was always, temp drops and kind of forcing ovulation in. But I stopped doing that because I was getting all my clutches at once, and I would prefer my clutches to come, paced, especially since I have no access to rodents up there. I have to breed my own.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, I was just talking with somebody that actually has been thinning their collection down by when they lay. He wants the bulk of his stuff to lay at a certain time so that he has X amount of months where you're not pulling clutches. He's kind of semi-retired. And it's an interesting theory, like what he's going off of. So like if he's deciding that he wants all of his clutches to be in May, then he's keeping stuff that's laying like April, May, June, but selling everything else so that hopefully everything's laid in that bulk of the season kind of deal. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, I wouldn't do that currently, like, but I could see like maybe later in life, like where that would make it really easy, right? Like if you could get all your clutches in like a month or 6 weeks and then you're done, be kind of nice. Like your stress level would certainly go down.
yeah, because it's. I always fear of missing, right? So like that clutch
Yeah.
I got today.
Congrats, by the way. Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, and that's a good clutch too. I'm excited for that.
yeah.
If anyone doesn't know, I had a pastel Mojave drop eggs today that was bred to a super pastel Mystic Yellow Belly. So definitely excited. But I had no fucking idea. I never palpated this snake.
Yeah. I hate
I,
palpating.
but I'm okay at palpating, and I only paired this snake twice or 3 times. Like this is the beginning. I started pairing this snake in February, but it was clearly at the right at the fucking the deadline that I was able to get a latch apparently. And I mean, I was just checking snakes, just seeing for behaviors, just seeing if anybody's flipped over.
Yeah.
And this is like one of my bins that's like really high. Because like after the breeding season, I'll lower it on the rack once I think I'm
Sure.
getting close. So I'm not having to fucking climb on a step stool to check for eggs. And I fucking slid that bin out today, and I was like, "Holy fuck, she's on eggs!" I just couldn't believe that she was on eggs.
Yeah. So
And I
that
was
happened
just,
to me a few weeks ago. Like I opened one up that I had ultrasounded and didn't see anything. And she's kind of a small girl. And like for whatever reason that day, I'm like, well, I'll just check on her. And sure enough, she was sitting on eggs. And I was like, uh, okay, where'd those come from? So yeah, sometimes man, it's like a surprise. Like,
yeah,
holy shit, I didn't think that was gonna happen. So yeah.
yeah. I got that. I have a pastel that has pied markers all over it, and I never bred anything pie to it. So this year I said, you know what? Let me go for the mega ringers, and I bred a pastel champagne to it. Because then if I get those ringers, then I'll know that she has the pie. Um, and this little shit, she's been going. So that they're eggs. She ovulated. They're big. I missed the shed. I didn't write down the day that she shed, so I didn't get that to give me an idea. And for the last week, she's been every night upside down eggs. You could see the eggs on the belly, and I'm like,
Yeah.
usually it's 48 hours, but you get that one snake that like fucks with you and does that for 2 weeks before she lays.
Right. Yeah. I'm really bad about I write down certain dates that I absolutely want, but like I'll see an ovulation, I won't write the date down. I'll see the pre-laid shed, I won't write the date down. And then I'll be talking to one of you guys, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I've got one laying anytime. Oh yeah, when did it pre-lay shit? I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just don't. They lay when they lay. I mean, I like sometimes I write it down, man. I'm lazy, a little bit lazy about some of that stuff. Like, I don't, I being that I'm self-employed, man. I think sometimes I would want that info if I really wanted to be able to know like a good time frame. But I'm here every day, you know, and I'm in the room 3 or 4 times a day, and so I think if my life changed in some different way where I would want that info, you know, a little differently. But yeah, Kenny, who are you yelling at? Yeah, Kenny, quit using caps, dude. You're yelling.
Fucking angry redneck.
Yeah.
Gosh.
He's gonna come in. I feel like he's gonna come into Arlington with like a Budweiser hat and like a Confederate flag, you know, tied around his neck, shirtless. Yeah, carrying it. Yeah, with the hat, with the beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've met Kenny, so I know this probably isn't happening. But since we all make fun of him for being a redneck, I want to make sure I'm painting the picture of what I think rednecks look like.
It should be part of the uniform. Definitely the hat.
Camouflage pants.
And what's that beer?
Some Busch Light.
Keystone Light. Yeah, Keystone Light.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And like right behind him comes in like Hacksaw Jim Duggan doing his thing with 2x4s. You know, yeah. That's how I picture it.
With a $10 2x4.
Yeah. That's great.
Be prepared for a hairstyle. He's yelling. None of that. But we are prepared for the hairstyle.
Kenny, on your phone, there's a little thing like an arrow, and you turn it off so it doesn't do caps.
Yep. It's probably highlighted white, and you want it to just be an arrow.
If it's Android, I think it's highlighted blue. Like, we're here to help you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Bushwhackers. Yep. Yeah. Kenny and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I don't even remember if that's his name.
That was his name, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty old school, man. I was a big Hulk Hogan, and the Ultimate Warrior. That's how I remember growing up with, Andre the Giant. I really loved Andre the Giant.
I met Andre the Giant.
Oh, how cool, man.
Yeah. But I was so young that it didn't really
register.
It wasn't anything.
Yeah.
It was I'm pretty sure it was at a store called Child's World, and the WWF game came out on Nintendo. And he was at Child's World, and all I saw was just, I mean, granted, I was small, so most people are a lot bigger, but he was just a behemoth, you know?
Yeah. Have you ever had a clutch of all males? Yeah.
I almost did.
Nathaniel, yeah, like, that happens, I think, from time to time. I had that happen to me last year. I had, I think, 9 males out of a clutch. Of course, it can happen to you in sex-related animals like the banana. You can create all males. So I guess I would ask you, like, what your clutch was, just to make sure that's not part of it. But you can get kicked in the nuts, man, and end up with a crazy all-male clutch. I've also been really lucky and had a 8 or 9 all-female clutch. And it's all things that I wanted to keep back, and what I didn't want to keep back, I wanted to sell, and selling females was easier. So it definitely comes both ways. But yeah, man, it happens.
Unfortunately, it's just like it fits in the same category with the genetic calculator. The genetic calculator kind of gives you it tells you what you can produce. But those percentages. Yeah, I mean, I bred last year's clutch was, I got one that, it was 4 eggs, and I got 3 pies. I mean,
I had 3 eggs this year. One went bad, and it was from a visual to a het, and I got two visuals out of the 2 eggs I got. So, and I've been skunked too, but
It's nice when it works out, but
yeah,
it comes with the territory.
yep, yeah,
I
yep,
think that's the shit that really, that makes you or breaks you. If some people, unfortunately, a bad scenario like that can make them walk away from
yeah,
the hobby. And
yeah, it gets them angry and they can't handle it.
but if you're expecting, I always expect the worst anyway. If you expect the worst, then you're gonna make it. It's gonna work out somewhat most of the time.
Yeah, Brandon from Asylum Exotics, like he's given me some shit over this year, like since we've met, that I don't really get excited about my clutches, and it's for that reason right there, man. Like when I do get excited and then it doesn't go your way, it's a really good way to give yourself a kick in the dick. If I'm just not, if I'm just like nonchalant, I guess, or just take it with, take for granted I'm getting what I'm getting. If I don't build up the hype, there is no hype, and that's both ways. And so I get what I get, and I roll with it, and I'm
Yeah,
happy that I got it, like there's people that are begging to have a clutch, and I might have 40 of them, right? So I'm not going to bitch if I didn't get what I wanted and it wasn't the sex ratio I wanted. I should be happy I have a clutch. And so I think that, yeah, if I could give anybody advice when it comes to that, man, just be happy you have a clutch. Be happy with what you hatch. So
yeah. And you know
yeah,
what? When you get screwed on those odds, and then you go another year, and then it happens again, but then that third year, it's
man,
like
like,
it makes up for the last two horrible clutches.
yeah, you feel real
That
good.
that experience is
Yeah,
beautiful. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, you feel real good.
I mean, I've been battling to produce a pied het hypo for 3 years, and last year I got it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
I wanted a pied het hypo male. I kept getting females, which is not bad, but when you got a double, when you got a double, you got a hypo het pied mother that you just want to get that male so that you can breed it and get your
yeah.
doubles, and then even a black pastel het pied. I got like 5 clutches, never hit one. Never
Uh,
hit a black pastel het pied. Never
yeah,
until this season. I instead of getting the black pastel het pied, I got a black pewter het pied. Even fucking better.
nice. Yeah, guys. I think that Nathaniel's asking, how often are you feeding after hatch? I'm going to answer that both ways in case if you're asking both ways. I'm assuming you mean the babies, but if you're asking about the female, sometimes I've had a female eat the same day. That doesn't happen all the time.
But it's
I
nice.
feed
It
my
does.
hatchlings. I leave them all together in a tub together until they shed, and then I separate them and I feed them about 3 days later after I separate them. Typically, and I will say typically because it doesn't happen like science or clockwork, but typically almost everything eats. I typically have, if I have 100 babies or something or whatever, if I just use that as an easy number, if I have 100 babies, I probably have 3 every year that I have to force feed or whatever you want to call it, assist feed or
It's
whatever.
just
So,
yeah,
um,
yeah. I do it. So I wait a little bit longer. I just feel like I have. It all varies too on the babies. If the babies come out fucking plump and really fat, because I hatch them on vermiculite. So then, if anyone
oh,
uses
okay.
vermiculite, it turns into a shit show. It's like sloppy mess in there.
Yeah.
Um, but it works, and I've been doing it for 6 years now, and I'm gonna keep doing it. But I go from vermiculite to when they all are out of the egg, and as soon as everybody's out of the egg, then they go on to cypress mulch, new bin with cypress, and then once they shed, um, I put them in their own bin, and then I usually wait about a week.
Yeah.
And I've just had more success. I have tried, and I have, it depends on like what's going on that day. Like if I produce 100 hoppers and I got hopper mice like an abundance of them, and they're already in a bin for feeding other animals, then I'm going to offer those hoppers to the hatchlings. But the first meal can be tricky, but I always feel like once they get that first meal, I try to keep that 5-day rotation, feed them every 5 days for their first 5 meals. And I feel like that kind of creates those good eaters, where.
Yeah. And I always try rats first, and typically everything of mine will eat rats first. But if I do have a quote unquote problem where I have to go to, mice hoppers or something, typically if I get them to eat mice once, I can get them to eat a rat next.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like with the hatchlings, it's that once their brain gets stimulated to eat and their brain allows them to physically eat, then that's it. It kind of is just, it's like a light switch. Now this is an animal that's going to eat.
Right. Yep.
I hate assist feeding. Last year, I lucked out and I only had 2 snakes I had to assist feed.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah. I'm going to say I can remember. Yeah, I think I probably had 4 or 5 tops. I think of a few of them off the top of my head. One of them I still have, but it was a twin that the twin was dead. And so the other one was very, very small, like 15 grams or something. And now it's, it's 150 grams and doing great. So
you just got twins again this week, right?
Yeah. So like, you talk about like, yeah. So like last year I've had people tell me like, oh, I really want to hit twins once. It would just be a neat experience. I think I've hit twins now like 3 years in a row now. Yeah, it's 3 years.
Cool.
Last year my twins, one was dead. This year I just hit the twins second clutch in. I have twins and they should be out of the egg. If they're not out of the egg right now, like I'm sure this weekend. So
and was it a bigger egg?
No. It was from a first time mom. I don't weigh my eggs. Might be something I add because I kind of like some of that info. Yeah, I don't do it.
I don't really weigh them.
Yeah, it wasn't. I would say they were normal first-time mom, smaller mom eggs. They weren't anything. So I was really shocked. So I cut them on Sunday, and I saw the one and didn't think anything of it. And then the other day, like they've absorbed everything and whatnot. And I just kind of double took, like I saw another head, and I'm like, oh shit, there's twins. At first, I thought, did one crawl in here? And then I look, and everybody's in their egg. And I'm like, oh shit, I have twins again. So yeah,
I've had that happen. I've had that happen before, or I'm like, oh fuck, I got twins, and I look and I'm like, wait a minute, that one's out of its egg.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's cool, man. I'm not gonna lie, I can't wait. I know it'll eventually happen. I hope it'll eventually happen.
Well, it's a bonus, man. So like, it's neat to see. And then I think the fact that it's just a bonus, right? You think you got 6 eggs, but really you got 7 people. You have 7 snakes.
And that egg is the same exact size that every other egg in that clutch?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you would have not seen a difference. I might have a picture of the eggs right out of, and I could pinpoint which one it was. I don't move them, so like I know exactly where it was at.
Yeah, from looking at present pictures.
Yeah,
that's so fucking crazy, man. I'm dying for twins. I thought I had twins because I had my head exanthic. She laid 2 duds and 2 eggs, and the eggs were like lima beans. They were like so fucking long.
All right,
and I was like, oh man. And then during incubation, like how like the black that comes in on boob eggs.
Oh, okay, sure. Yep.
It was getting that in the center. So it was almost like an egg split. And they were on each side. On both eggs. But no, it was 2 snakes. But odds gods were on my side, man. It was head to head. And I hit one 66 head TSK and I hit one visual TSK. Yeah.
Yeah. You talk about things like that. Like, again, man, going back to the ultrasound, everybody probably knows, or a good part of people know, like last year I thought that I had hit a desert ghost tri-stripe, and then when it shed, I found out that I didn't, and so it was a bit of a kick in the nuts, and probably hurt my ego even a bit. But I felt bad that I made all this hype, and then it wasn't what it was. But anyways, I've been this whole year so far. She didn't go back on food great. Like she became kind of a picky eater for a while, and I started to try to pair her like in November, maybe December. It was December. And it wasn't locking, hasn't locked. And so I just kind of was like, you know what, man, maybe I don't even pair her anymore. Maybe I just give her the year off. Well, me and Lisa just ultrasounded a couple girls the other night because I did go ahead and throw the male back in with her one more time. And so they unlocked. So this was the first time I actually saw a lock since I've been pairing them in December. And so I put him away, and I just happened to check. Like I said, Lisa, I got like 4 girls I'd like to ultrasound. And she was, where am I at here? Dun, 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 dun. She was at 21.5 on Sunday night. And so nice. I'm happy when they get over 18, and I'm in the clear usually when I think they're at 33 millimeters. That's kind of the way I look at it. And so, yeah, man, to be at 21.5, and I did get I ultrasounded her back in February, and she was only at like 10.2. So, I mean, her follicles have obviously grown, right? And so,
yeah.
And I do diagonally, so I don't do the longest point. So they're probably a little bit bigger than, 21.5. But, man, when we did it the other night, man, I was pretty excited. Like I said, I try not to get excited, and set myself up for failure. But I'm really hoping she goes again this year. Then, like, man, maybe I have another chance. And, that would make me pretty happy.
Yeah, that's similar to what happened with me with the damn black pastel double het. I got 4 eggs out of her last season, and one of them, they were poop eggs. They were like, it came out looking like there was just shit all over them.
The worst.
And the 3 were duds, and then the one had like so you know how like the capillaries, like it looks like a aggressive lightning, and then you got like the little strands of lightning out of the veins when you candle it.
Yep.
Like all the veins were like really thin, fucking like paper thin veins.
Okay.
And that egg obviously it died in incubation. And she didn't go back on food, man. Like 5 months. Like I'm thinking I'm going to fucking assist feed this adult. I'm like, I've never had to assist feed an adult, but I'm at a point where this is a valuable snake. Like, what the fuck am I going to do? I paid a lot of money for it. And then now, so that's another reason why I want the ultrasound, because I'm like, she's eating like a pig now.
Nice.
But I don't want to throw in a male unless I'm feeling follicles or I'm visually seeing follicles, because she had such a rough
throwing that male in there just to spark the follicle growth, just even if you throw them in one time just to see if it helps you start to see or feel follicles isn't necessarily a bad idea.
Yeah, but my problem is that she lost so much weight.
Yeah.
During those 5 months, like.
Yeah, I'd want to fatten them back up too, man. I would probably feel bad trying to spark follicle growth just because I want a clutch. Yeah, I think all of us want our animals to be, healthy first and foremost.
Yeah, and I mean she's not even back to her weight before I started pairing her last year.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so like good. My tri-stripe, that tri-stripe deal, or my desert ghost tri-stripe deal, like when I paired her in December, she had just got back to the weight I paired her at the first year, and so I didn't pair her until then. So I, somewhat the same kind of situation.
Yeah, and tri-stripe, and that's like a tough investment because tri-stripe's high right now.
Yeah,
it's very high in value.
Okay. Quite a few pairings, man. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, Castro fucking lucked out because he hit 3 breeding het to het.
Awesome.
Yeah, 1 male, 2 females.
Oh, it's even better. Yep.
And yeah, it's funny. He's got it's what the male's named Bill, and then one of the females is Hillary, and the other one's Monica.
That's awesome. That's pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, tri-stripes when they're babies, they're really bright. I
Yeah.
never tri-stripe because I don't like to venture out of my own means. You know, like I just know I can't afford tri-stripe. I know it's a lot of money, even if you're going head to head and taking the gamble. It's still a pricey animal.
Sure. Mm.
But when they come out of that egg, fucking bright. Like just a single gene tri-stripe is like it almost looks it has pastel
Yeah.
tones.
To this day, I actually think that the greatest tri-stripe right now in my mind is just a pastel tri-stripe. I think they're super pretty. When people start messing with the stripe, I'm not a big fan. I think the Desert Ghost tri-stripe that Daryl Stars, I think is the last name. He's in the UK area. His Desert Ghost tri-stripe is probably the prettiest out there right now. Like, and I think his is a pastel Desert Ghost, if I remember right.
Yeah, and pastel goes good with Desert Ghost.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. And then
I see. I just was gonna say I see that the other side of Kenny's redneck brother Andrew's in the house. So Andrew must be the other bushwhacker.
Definitely.
Him and Kenny are gonna probably hang out at the Hojo together.
The Hojo.
Yeah, pick up some hookers and herpes.
Crabs. All you can eat crabs.
Poor Andrew.
I can't. I just as soon as we start talking about it, I'm like fucking so excited about this.
Man, I am, man. I'm really excited for everybody to get there. And here's the thing. One of these shows that we're going to have a majority of people at, we really need to plan ahead of time and just everybody come in a day early or stay a day late so that we legitimately could spend like a day just doing lunch, hanging out, you know, whatever. Like, we all get so short on time. And so I just think it would be wise one of these times we planned ahead of time.
Oh, yeah, especially like for the people that are vending.
Yeah, you know? Like, yeah, I feel like I get behind my table, I get to network a little bit. Lisa, who just walked in, you know, covers for me, lets me go out and network and stuff. But at the same time, like, I like to be around my table, man, if I can. And, but at the same, man, I want to go out and talk to people. I just want to have a day where I can hang out.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's cool about the whole Friday night setup, I think. Because I've never done a 2-day show. I've only done 1 day, and I mean,
yeah, you're in and out.
Just the second time this past show was that we stayed the night before and kind of got like everything somewhat set up at the table, but still left the animals in the bed in the hotel room. But then the morning was just like bring down our displays and ready to rock and roll, you know.
Are you bringing our tortoise in here to soak him? You gonna bring him by? Let everybody see the tortoise.
Well, you got Lisa, right?
Yeah, he's in the other room. He's just, you know, we got like 81 the other day here for like 2 days, and it was like 70 for a week, and now it's back down in like the 40s and 50s, and so he gets depressed. It's kind of funny in a way because like he'll go in the corner and not want to move. He's a stubborn little guy.
Screw this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It was snowing this morning where I am.
Oh,
it's 37 degrees out. And I was like, I'm not even going to go outside today. But my pond filter came in. And I've been waiting 2 weeks for it. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going out there in the cold, you know, and setting that up. But
nice.
It's like, it's crazy. You know, it's like, we're already mid-April. I'm over this shit, you know.
Too, man. I'm ready. Like, you know, we had like 12 inches of snow a couple years ago on May 1st, but typically if we get into May, you rarely will see snow again. But I'm just ready, man. I'm ready for warm and summer and sunlight.
I mean, that's the one thing I can say. I like that they're still light at 7:30.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, that's a fucking plus.
Mm.
But I mean, we got so much going on with setting up the new pool, and I built that raised bed garden, and we're gonna shift everything over so that we're doubling our size of pool, and still
Nice.
gonna be able to have the garden, the wrestling mat, the patio, and the pond.
Nice. Yeah,
You know,
man, that's awesome. Good for you.
yeah. I mean, I need to get drone footage of my house because my property's got to be pretty funny looking because it's like a long house. It's not high, you know, it's one story. But then I have
Dude,
the garage, and then
yeah, bring him over here so he can look like him make his video appearance here, Lisa. Look at him. Look, he just wants to be on. Oh yeah, look. He just wants to
look at him.
say hello.
Nice size.
He's big. He's a big one.
Fucking love their legs. I love their legs. Their
Right?
armor it reminds me of Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're funny, man. They're a good time. He's Lisa's buddy.
Yeah, I want a tortoise, but
Noise.
with our location, I think if I do get a tortoise, Mario's begging for a tortoise, and I'm a sucker for getting Mario stuff.
Mm.
He doesn't ask for much, and he doesn't ask for expensive stuff either. You know, he's happy with going to Walmart and buying 4 Disney cars, and that's like Christmas for him. You know, he just loves it. He gets so euphoric over it. But he really wants a tortoise, and the Hermans I think are more our capabilities.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. We don't have a spot. We don't have, it would have to go in the basement, and then I got to see where I can put it down there.
He comes in our basement. Yeah, that's right. He's in the basement for the winter. We also have, otherwise he lives in our backyard, and you know, as soon as it gets nice out. We also have two Redfoots.
You got 3 of them.
I want to grab a cherry head Redfoot. I saw one the other day, but Lisa puts her foot down with me from time to time. Lisa, remember, I'll pack your stuff, and Megan will hook me up with some old lady on Match.com.
Nice.
Yeah, Megan told me the lady has money. Poor Lisa. We were on our video chat last night. I learned. I think I knew this, but Megan was talking about, you know, her job of matching people, and so of course, conversation got, you know, real tricky real quick, and so I yelled like, Lisa, pack your shit, and told Megan I'll take the old lady. She's got some 80-year-old lady with some money. That sounds bad. I would actually never do that. I'm not motivated by money. My kid, on the other hand, I brought into the room and told him the scenario, and he was all ready to get rid of his mom to get the old lady with money.
Yeah, but he's old enough. He's legally, you can just get the old lady.
Yeah, he can just date her himself. Yeah.
Let's get the old lady, you know?
Yep. Yeah. Megan, if you're listening, get my kid hooked up with the old lady.
I've never had such a violent chat during a live stream. It's pretty rowdy in there tonight.
I see that. Like, I'm catching a little bit of it from time to time. Like, we got some hooligans in there. You know, you got Chad and Max, and you got David and Megan and the gang here. So, yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, this is great.
Yeah, my kid. So Andrew just said, he said, how long until she dies? Just so you understand, I'm responsible for raising my son, but my wife didn't let me discipline him, so he's turned into quite the shithead. And that's all her fault, not mine. I would have never let him be that kind of person. Oh, I love it. Yeah, those chats get pretty funny, man, pretty quick.
Yeah, it was like Andrew jumped in, and then it just got wild.
Yeah, Andrew brings out the worst in all of us. He's the instigator.
Yeah, the troublemaker.
Troublemaker.
Yeah,
how many eggs did you get out of that clutch today? I don't know if I asked you or if I saw.
I got 5 real healthy eggs. I'm thrilled because that snake too was like kind of a cool situation where like a childhood friend was like he was like, "Hey, you want some ball pythons? I have a friend that has 3 of them and he's not doing anything with them." And I forgot what it was. It was like I got the Mojave pastel, and then it was 2 males. I think one of them was like a lesser spider, and then the other one was like a pastel, but it was something else, and he didn't know what it was. And that was a female, and I was just like, I don't. I feel like I'm far enough in the game where questionable snakes I don't want to deal with, and then you got a clutch, and you're like, oh, what does it look like this, and does it look like that? And
Yeah,
I'm a big second opinion guy because I feel like everyone's brains look at different things, and
absolutely.
maybe there's something that's there that I don't see, or maybe there's something I see that someone else sees, and
Hmm.
playing that whole like Facebook fucking guess that morph
Yeah,
game. I, I don't want to do that shit with a pastel.
yeah,
And not
yeah,
shit talking pastels. I have fucking 9 single gene pastel females. I still love the gene. I don't care what anyone says.
yeah. Well, you start using those girls to make some DG stuff, man. You'd be in the gold mine anyways.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Hmm. Yep.
But yeah, so I got a VE 70 series rack and 3 adult ball pythons out of the deal.
Huh. Yeah.
And I sold the 2 that I didn't want, kept the rack, and 8 months later I got a clutch out of one. So I'm like, fuck man, I did
Yeah.
well with this.
The bonus. Yep. You got
Hell
the
yeah.
bonus round. Yep.
And it never
Yeah.
works out that way, like
Yeah.
it never does. So for
That's
it to
great,
work out
man.
like that,
That's
listen,
good.
I had no idea. Like I haven't palpated this girl. She went off a feed, and it was kind of like she went off a feed, so I stopped breeding her because I was like, oh, I don't know, she's not that big. Now she's off feed. I
Mm,
don't know about this. And fuck man, 5 healthy eggs.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's and it was good because I was just bitching about how like because the other ones hatched last week, and I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to run. There's something about running an empty incubator,
Right?
and I don't turn it off. I fucking leave it on. If it's working, I don't want to turn it off because I feel like, what if when I restart the incubator, it's not running as consistent as it was before? That shouldn't happen, but for some reason in my head, I'm like, man, how much electricity is running a fucking incubator for two
Yeah.
months?
Probably pennies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I do shut one of them off. So before I had one AP um incubator, and then I had a smaller one, and I would leave the smaller one running when my bigger one wasn't, just in case if I had something pop out that I wasn't expecting. But now I have my 2 APs, and so I'll probably leave one running when I get, I'll probably shut one down because I wouldn't. If I had a clutch or 2 in the middle of nowhere, I mean, a thing holds 30 clutches or something, so I'd be fine. But yeah, yeah.
yeah, I'm bad. I'm looking at my big incubator that's been in my dining room for about a year now, and I still haven't installed the glass on it.
Hmm.
It's just
Yeah, I had a big double-sided Coke one that I gave to Liz and Kyle. And then I actually have out in my driveway, I have a stainless steel freezer that actually works from a restaurant. It's just a single stainless steel, like very expensive freezer.
yeah, man, those
But
are money.
they accidentally ordered 2 of them when they were getting a new one, and so they just gave me that one, and I was like, yeah, I'll turn it into an incubator. I never have. I might actually just use it as a freezer and throw meat or something in it, but
Oh yeah,
I had thought about turning it into. Otherwise, man, I'd like to find somebody maybe in the area that I could help out with it, and I don't think I'll need it at this point. I have the 2 APs and I have a smaller one too, so I think I'd be set for quite some time. I'm possibly taking over a friend's collection. He's got some things that may be preventing him to work with the snakes as much as he'd like to, so I might be taking him on for a couple of seasons and we're going to work it out. But at that point, he's got an incubator too, so I think I could probably get a hold of that.
I would just keep that freezer just to have, man. Those
It's
industrial
nice.
freezers.
Yeah, it's actually really nice. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know what they cost. I bet they're $4 or $5 or something, man. It's the top of the line like restaurant freezer.
My buddy would sell them used for like $1,000, $1,200.
Yeah.
Full size stainless steel freezer. They're but new. They're around $6,000, $8,000.
Lisa, you want to get in on this? Maybe people have questions for you. Maybe people would like to pick your brain and not mine. Are you sure? She just won't do it, I can't get her to get on the camera.
My wife's the same way. She only got on the camera to tase me.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll tase you.
Yeah, would you tase me? Nope. She said no.
Yeah, then I gotta listen to whine.
She's just enjoying you suffer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they do. They do. My wife watches a lot of Lifetime, so I always tell everyone, if I ever just suddenly drop dead, don't bury me, because my wife killed me.
My wife just watches vampire like monster movies. Like,
oh wow,
yeah,
it's like Amanda.
Yeah, so
you don't like vampires. She's a zombie person. It's all about zombies.
Lisa's done zombies and Lucifer. You watched iZombie. There's a whole series or some shit. Yeah, don't give me any grief, woman.
I watched iZombie. That was a good TV show.
I didn't mind it. It was all right.
I liked it.
Lisa watched Lucifer, and she's watched the originals, and what's the other part of it? Help me out, wife. What's it called? Vampire Diaries. She likes all that.
Amanda's all about zombies. I mean, I caught her watching like Asian fucking high school zombies and some.
Don't give my wife any ideas.
And then Walking Dead, forget it.
That zombie show that was on, I didn't like.
Yeah, The Walking Dead is dumb to me because at one point, like the zombie was like, it doesn't really run, and the guy was like, "Oh, it's gonna get me," and I'm like, "Why don't you just walk fast? Why do you need a gun?"
Power walk.
Yeah, it's not gonna catch you. It lost me after that. Oh man, what's going on in the chat? Like we got some drama or something in there. Kenny's questioning Andrew's friendship. These guys. Shit. What are they doing in there?
Gosh.
We're gonna do a big group hug at Arlington.
Who's gonna bring the acoustic guitar?
Yeah.
And play music they can't play.
Andrew looks like the guy from the frat house that probably would have had a guitar.
See, I picture Andrew like wearing the FUCT tight shirt and the fucking Jersey Shore blowout.
Yeah, I think I picture Andrew as like Chris Farley, when he's walking by the pool, he's like, "Hey, you know where the gym, you see the weight room?
Get over there."
Yeah. Just messing with you, Andrew. Don't beat me up. I love you. So, I only pick on people I love.
Mm-hmm. You see, he does play guitar. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've been slacking on the pairing. I got to start. I'm like waiting because I've been waiting for my federal tax return so I can buy the ultrasound, and then I can decide.
I haven't done my taxes yet, so you were ahead of me.
Yeah, I mean, we got it done quick.
I have a goal to have it done by the end of May.
So even you're late. See, I
Well,
count on the taxes.
I think they extended personal taxes this year, if I looked right. So instead of yesterday being the deadline, I think it's, I don't remember when, but I think I looked it up and they extended it. So I think I'm okay.
Oh yeah, it's already April 15th.
Yeah. Yep. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's so many girls. Like I was doing waters yesterday, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little spoiled with Junior and Amanda because typically they fill waters for me.
Okay.
Um, so I was doing waters yesterday, and my super pastel vanilla was like huge. I'm like, wow, when did you get that big? Like I didn't even realize you were that big. I'm like, you're fucking giant.
Yeah. Isn't that
So
crazy?
then
How
I'm like,
that surprise you?
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love it too, because like when I first started, I was buying like older animals, which I've learned isn't really the best most of the time,
Right.
because not too many people let go great animals.
Mm.
I mean, people do because at some point, like where I am right now, I'm at a point where I may have to get rid of stuff because I just physically don't have the room to be able to house all of them. But if I had a facility, I would.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get it, man. We have a couple more racks I'm picking up from Mark at Animal Plastics, and then I have, I think, 3 more for him to build for me. And at that point, my room will be maxed out. As far as rack space goes, as far as the actual racks go, and then the rack space as far as animal goes, I'll pick up some space, but currently, man, I'm pretty maxed. So I mean, I would have to sell some stuff. And I'm at that point right now too, like to put some thought into like, do I let some bigger girls go this year that I've bred for the last 3 or 4 years, and make some room for some up and coming stuff. But right now, I'm actually sitting pretty. I could keep everything without actually having to sell a female, but we'll see what happens.
I think I can go one more year without worrying about it.
Yeah, and then if I get my buddy's collection, like that collection will have to go in a different room. So I'm a basement guy. In Iowa, like we use the basement part, and so the room I'm in is like my main snake room, and then next to us is where Lisa keeps like some bearded dragons and our tortoise, and I actually have a couple snakes in there. But I would have to take that room kind of over and put his snakes in there and have 2 snake rooms.
Yeah.
So be interesting.
Hell yeah. I mean, that'll be exciting too, though, because then you can.
Yeah, my buddy's got some pretty. I mean, it's a top of the line collection. He really has a nice collection, and he's offered for me to use the males. And then anything of his I breed, we would work out. Some whether it's a split or whatever. Like he would like to take them back over when he's back settled again. But yeah, I mean, it could be a good benefit for me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I know it'd be nice if I did ever do that, because then I can bring it. Especially if they have stuff that I'm not working with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite a bit of benefit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I think people frown. There's the unfortunate part is people only talk about the bad situations when it comes to like breeder loans and things like that. And then going all the way to the other spectrum of like maybe me taking over my friend's collection, and not in the capacity that I'm keeping it, is in a capacity that I'm going to keep it for a couple of years, and he's going to take it back over. So really, it's like a loan, right? And I think that the only thing you ever hear is the bad side. Rarely do people talk about the good side of it. I had a bad experience. I don't share it because I think that doesn't help anything.
yeah.
I now have currently right now I have one, two, three, four. I think I have 4 breeder loan situations currently, and I have no qualms with how it won't work out. Like, I think if you're honest and you set for some guidelines, and it's just unfortunate that greed is what really kills breeder loans.
Oh yeah.
So in my mind, if a guy gives me a male and I breed it, and maybe I breed it to 3 girls, but maybe only one goes, and maybe in that clutch there's only one really awesome animal. Well, you know what? I'm probably going to let him have it because he did me a favor, right? Like maybe I asked to use that male, but maybe my female was even better. But like without that male, maybe I couldn't make some key animals. And instead of me being greedy, I would rather just be like, really honest, or just really, upfront, be like, you can have first pick and I'll keep whatever. And, I just think that it's unfortunate that breeder loans get the stories that they get because people only share the bad. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? I think you have to warn people of what that can be, but yeah, man, I've got some pretty interesting breeding loans, and they don't fear me. I went through a bad situation. I learned my lesson, and me and that person are water under the bridge, and we're friends, and we talk from time to time. But it was a shitty situation. But I learned something from it and moved forward.
Yeah, I've only done it twice. Did it, and the first one I did was like excellent, but at the same time, it was also like my buddy really hooked me up. He already did all of his pairings, and all of his pairings were done. So he was like, but he got a deal on a GHI chocolate head hypo, and this was before the hypo craze, not the hypo craze, the chocolate craze, where chocolate was kind of still under the radar.
All right.
And he was like, dude, he's like, I need a female. I need another female. So, all I want is a GHI chocolate female. And he's like, I don't care what you produce. That's what I want. And I got 2 full clutches, and I got 1 clutch that only was horrible. I only got 1 fertile egg. And I lucked out. It ended up being a GHI chocolate head hypo, 100% head hypo.
Nice.
Like I said, that's before the whole chocolate hypo craze that's currently now, and
yeah,
which I agree with. I think it's fucking awesome. I just can't wait till I have that in my racks visuals. But that went great. I got 2 great clutches. I ended up with 2 leopard chocolate GHIs, both female. I ended up with a chocolate GHI male, a regular GHI male, so that deal was awesome. He got what he wanted. I got what I wanted. And,
yeah. And I think that's a big part of it. I have a breeder loan male from a guy that he could have easily sold the male for like $8,000, and instead, inquired with me, like, would I be willing to do, a breeder loan with it, basically. And the way it went is, I'm like, yeah, what do you want? Like, what are you wanting out of this? And he told me, like, I'm looking for this combo or these combos. That's what I would want. And I'm like, okay, cool. Because anything that I get from it is a benefit for me. So, I think, like I said, man, I think if you're just upfront with people and, what do you want out of it? Sometimes people don't want to even split the clutch. They might want that one key animal, and if you can get it to them, they could give a shit what you do with the other 5 animals. And that's what I'm saying. I think you just have to lay down, what you want. What do you want? How do you want this to work? Do we need to flip a coin when the clutch comes? The other thing I'll say about breeder loans is constant contact, man. So I send, like, the couple guys that I have stuff with, I send them updates as often as I can. Like at 8, it locked. I ultrasounded it. It's 10 point whatever. It's 25. It's, hey man, I think it's gonna ovulate. Like I probably over communicate with them because I think that's a big part of it, man. Is I think some people get maybe a little suspicious or they're worried because maybe there's not enough contact. And so if I could give you any advice with a breeder loan for anybody doing it or gonna do it, like, either ask for that contact or give that contact, like give that communication, because I think that alone will settle a whole lot of drama.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, the other one I don't even want to talk about it, but the other one was horrible.
Yeah.
And
We all have
yeah,
some bad ones.
it just, you know,
Mm.
needing back an animal that's gravid. Just went to
Yeah.
shit. So that's so that kind of like, now forget it. You know, now I'm like, I don't want a part of it. Like I don't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I mean, if the right situation came around, you know, like I tried another one where I lent out a female and didn't work out. You know, they couldn't get the snake pregnant.
Hmm.
You know, and it's like all good.
Yeah.
Um, but at this point, I'm like, you know, me personally, I don't really have anyone that I feel confident about. Not that I don't feel confident in people, but
Mhm.
I don't have anyone that I'm willing to do a trade or, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how these all end up, man. I've got a clutch coming from. I had a clutch already with one. I've got two clutches coming with one of the other ones, and I think this one right there in front of me is going to lay. So I think everybody that I have some type of breeder loan right now, I have something coming out of, because that's a fear too, man. Like if I take this male and I breed it to 4 or 5 girls, like what happens if none of them go? Like what if I just get
None of them
bad
take.
luck? You know, like,
Yeah.
are you going to trust me? Are you going to think I fucked up? Are you thinking I'm scamming you? Like, so like I get a little nervous about that stuff. So that's why like I try to over communicate. I take pictures of locks, like just because I want them to know that I'm not doing anything wrong over here. I'm doing everything I can to make us both happy. And yeah, it is what it is. So
Yeah, 'cause breeder loans could work out,
yeah,
especially when it's something that you don't have, or whether it's a recessive and you have hets and they got a visual and, you know,
I think you hurt
shit like
David's feelings. David said you won't trade females with you now. Look at him, yeah.
that. You know, you already know how I am. I don't, until something happens, I don't believe it. So we'll, we'll,
Yeah,
we'll see, Sir Cease. I want one of the 5 males he owns.
right? Yeah. Guy's got 900 females and he's got 5 males just wondering what they're gonna do.
I mean, I would be for, you know, problem is like Dave's collection is so ridiculous. What would I mean, I guess him doing a trade fee like a female with me would be him helping me out. Like
What I
I
want to
don't.
know is if he dies unexpectedly, because I don't want that to happen because I like David. Um, but if you die, is your wife taking over this collection, or is there somewhere in there that like you've
Look,
listed our names? Like
so
maybe you listed our Instagram group.
I've tried to get on that list, but apparently Nick and Jules will be getting it. You know,
Oh,
I thought that it should be split accordingly. You
yeah.
know,
I have
like
where my animals go in my will. My dad, my mom or dad or Lisa or whoever finds me dead is supposed to call my buddies over at JSA and they can decide what happens with my collection. I think that's important. You should have a backup plan. Who takes over this bullshit if you die? And David's
yeah,
got like 9 billion animals, and so he probably needs like 9 of us.
you need a hypopide male chino. I do, but I really need a clown hypo male.
I want to know
I'm
why he's giving them to Nick when like Nick doesn't participate that often in our fun chats and shit.
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna throw Nick under the bus here because I'm now upset that David doesn't want to leave me any animals.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like it should be like at least 5% of the animals should go to like different people, right?
I like,
I'm
yeah, he says
asking
Nick,
much.
Troy, and Liz. That's who's handling the money and making sure money gets back to my kid. All right, deal. There we go.
Oh, that list just got large. Oh, you're on the list now.
I'm on the list now, so you just get mad
Ah,
on a YouTube live, they'll throw you on the list or something.
this is bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, screw you. Yeah, now you're behind. Right?
Unbelievable. I'm gonna. It's right. This is horse shit.
This is horse shit.
Yeah, because I mean, even 5%, you're still ending up with like 50 animals.
Right? Yeah, the guy's got. Yeah. I keep saying I want to go see David's collection because I just feel like maybe I'll be a bit of awe or something. I'm gonna be like, oh wow, you have 500 females. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah, Kevin, I have 2 of them, but I don't have double. I need double visual male, so I can start introducing other morphs into my
I had a
clown
really
hypo.
nice. I had a really nice Mojave hypopide male breeder male that I sold just this last year that I know when you needed it.
I mean, I don't now because I hatched out the male. Now I got a pastel pied, 100% het OG, 50% possible het albino.
All right.
So I mean, and you want to know something? She's got nice sized follicles, and I put that hatchling in with mom. I put that 400 gram hatchling with the 2,500 gram mom, and I'm like, do I go for the gamble and just hope that he got business done? I didn't confirm a latch. I didn't see a latch. I saw them cuddling a lot.
I throw 400 gram males in all the time.
6-month-old.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right. So I mean, she's showing all the signs. She was bull wrapping. I put him in. She hasn't ovulated yet, but I mean, if I would say, I would assume that her follicles got to be close to like 20 millimeters.
Nice.
They're bigger than a marble, but smaller than a gumball.
Mm-hmm.
So
breed away, man. Yeah. I have no fear in small males. Like the smallest male I've used to breed and had a successful clutch, I think was around 350 grams or something. And that was last year that I had. So I had eggs in 2020, and it was a Banana Russo clown male that I bred to just a hurricane female, and they only locked a couple of times even. And sure enough, man, like I got a clutch. I think this year I've used, probably 6 that were 2020 hatches that probably range from 400 to 600 grams, but I would say a handful of those were on the smaller side. And like I said, man, I have follicle growth, charted, and so I have no fear that I'll get something. So yeah.
My smallest was 350 grams, and it was my NG Lemon Blast, and that motherfucker, he had 3 clutches at that age. One of them was with like almost a 3,000 gram snake. It was the best picture ever. It was when they were latched.
Yeah,
it was just like on the tail, coiled up near the tail. Yeah. But and he's never missed a meal during breeding season. And the only thing what sucks is that unfortunately the collection outgrew him.
Yeah.
So I'm actually keeping him as a pet for now because I feel like he's done so much for me over the years that I kind of feel bad selling him.
All right. Yeah, no, yeah. I see like in the chat, like people kind of talking about it. Like, I don't think that if you threw just any 350 gram animal, it's going to work every time. I think there's a little bit of luck there. And when I say a little bit, I mean a lot, but
hell yeah.
Yeah. I've had that happen otherwise, but I've had a lot of success with, over 400, definitely over 500. At the 500 mark, man, I don't know if I've been scoped by a male at 500 grams. So
yeah, I feel like once they hit 450, it's game time.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people that have, like I said, man. Right? I've always say this in chats. Whenever there's your way, my way. There's no real right or wrong way. I think if you think the animal's healthy enough, and you're not, and you're taking care of it, and it's still eating, and you're not trying to overbreed it. Like, I took that male to 1 female. I wasn't going to take it to even 2. And so I think if you're doing it safely, and you're confident in how you're doing things, and you're confident that it'll eat or whatever, I'm not going to shame somebody for using a small male in a pairing. So, and I know people that have flipped me shit, man. I've got messages from people about like, oh, I can't believe you've used a male. I heard you on a live, and I'm like, well, it works for me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So,
and then someone just said it has sperm plugs. Andrew. So
right, like, yeah. If you're checking sperm plugs, use it.
I popped out of my last clutch of 2020. It's only 200 grams. My OD Fire spot nose male, and he had fucking sperm plugs today.
Nice, yeah.
And he's 200 grams. I can't believe it. That was actually the smallest I've ever gotten sperm plugs out of a.
Yeah, I've never tried. Like, I don't think I've ever looked until after the 350 mark.
Yeah, it was kind of like the double check. Double check. Like, oh, just making sure it's still a male. Because I'm trying to bring in Orange Dream and get out Pinstripe.
Yeah. I need
so
a clown male to be way bigger, shooting rockets. Yeah. David's got a pretty decent male for me. I'm glad he has it, and I'm looking forward to what he does with it. So I wish it was breeding for him right now too. All in due time, David. All in due time.
Can't imagine his place, what it's going to be in like 2 years.
Right.
When everything he's been collecting, this is like fucking huge.
We'll all be buying from him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the males that he has are definitely going to produce some crazy shit, I mean, I think he was telling me how he got that. He has a black pastel hypo clown male. And I'm like, that's like my dream male.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, Miguel's got another one. I'm like, yeah, I can't afford that. Not yet.
Yeah. I reached out to somebody today about what I assume is going to be a very expensive snake, but I have not heard back yet. I'm hoping my text message dings at me sometime here, and I can see what he says. But I'm hoping to add a powerhouse clown this year. If it works out, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely need a better male in my clown world, because I have 3 clown males. One of them's is Old Faithful. He's been the one that's been part of my double recessive project all this time. It was a clown 50% possible het orange ghost male that proved out. So
yeah,
fucking jackpot right there.
It's nice when possets prove out, man.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like hypo adds a haze. It adds a mild haze to the animal, so you can kind of see it. Yeah, the het. And he has it. So I have that. I have a pastel clown het hypo, and then Junior has his pastel clown.
All right.
So I definitely need something. I definitely need something without pastel as well. Not that I think that pastel and clown, it does do certain things, but when you add other genes to it, it also balances out too. So it doesn't wash out every clown. My pastel spot nose clown het hypo female, is just as defined as she was when I got her as a hatchling, you know?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Possible het DG. That's another thing I need more. I need more desert ghosts, which I'm sure I will. My girls are their follicles are getting big where they're getting close to ovulation.
Nice. Good.
3 of them specifically, I have a pied, and then I have a pastel pied het orange ghost and a cinnamon het pied. So I'm hoping for these female banana pied het desert ghosts to
All right.
just build a fucking army of them, you know?
Yeah. I've got a couple double het enhancer pieds, so same desert ghost enhancer, same thing. Just a couple girls that I'm growing up. So yeah.
I want enhancer. I do want enhancer.
I hear from some people, that they think it's maybe a better line or it looks better. I'm not. I mean, I have some desert ghost, girls as well. So I guess I'll make that determination someday down the road. Whether or not I really believe that. But I've obviously heard some people. I got mine from Brittany. Brittany's got amazing stuff. I believe she got hers from both Justin and from Billy. And so, I know where they come from, and they're growing like a weed, man. So I don't know if I'll get them up for next year, but the next couple of years, man, definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about it because I mean, I don't remember if we talked about it on a live, but the whole, line breeding, pretty much. Since enhancer is kind of a limited supply, not that many people are have them, and it's kind of a more potent, kind of like how, the TSK. Look at JD's TSK line.
Yeah, man. JD is the most calculated. Like he legitimately keeps the best of the best, and watching his growth over the years, and even just him talking about it, man. Like you should probably have JD on here just to talk about that side of things. Really.
I want to
really,
have JD. Yeah. I was gonna message him, but I don't know. I'm very. I don't know. I know that I might as well just ask because what's the worst case scenario? They say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I'll set a little 3-way message between us, man, and introduce you guys somehow that way. And I know JD time wise, like he's got some stuff, but he'll definitely do it. I really could have a hard time here thinking he would say no. He would just have to pre-plan that with you, and he would be a good one to talk that subject with, man. Like he is real calculated with that stuff.
Yeah, and I
was actually opposite. I sold all the best looking stuff when I first started because I thought that I needed to get people to buy it. And what I didn't think of was that people would have not known that one looked better than the other because I would have held that one back and just been selling the other one. And so I actually I really did it wrong for a while. Not that I did, because I still produced some really nice stuff, but I kind of do wonder, like looking at JD, like him starting off with the best looking fire combo that he could, and then keeping back, the best fire exanthics and things like that, and where it's went from step 1 to step 10 or whatever you want to say. Like, man, he's really improved, his whites and blacks, and it's just really incredible because you can visually see if you follow, and he's got some of the maybe a little bit older animals, so he could really show you a difference. And he catalogs a lot of pictures, man. He's very detailed, and he really could have a lot of proven science to show some of that.
Yeah, I mean, that was my master plan because I know you guys are next door neighbors. So I was like, you know what? Kenny just said you can go face to face with JD. And that was my plan. I mean, out of all the breeders that are there, when it comes to animals with what I work with, JD's table is definitely one of the top breeders I want to see, just because if I had the money, there's been so many different snakes that JD's put for sale that I would have bought. I just didn't have the money.
It's pretty incredible, man. Yeah, and he sets up with me at Arlington, so you find me, you find JD. We're right smack together, and it's really neat so this last time at Arlington, he didn't bring anything het, so he just had all Xanthics. I think he brought, it was either 3 or 4 displays. I can't quite remember. It was really neat to hear people like come up and be like, holy shit, all you have is white and black snakes. Like the people's like oohs and ahs over it were really fun. And even Miguel came over and was like really kind of taken back by the fact that he didn't have anything else to show you, man. It was just white and black snakes. And it was really neat. It was really cool how he did it, and we had a lot of fun with it. So
I need it, man. I need his. You know, I bought that TSK. I bought 5 hets, 1 male, 4 females. I sold one because I needed the money, and I sold it way under market. I think I sold it for $100.
Yeah.
And I had no idea TSK was what it was because I wasn't really interested in Xanthic. And I just wanted to prove out every female, then sell the whole collection. But then when I hit that TSK last year, I was like, holy shit, like I need more of this in my life, you know?
Yeah, I sold a Jolif's like snow project I had, man, for pennies. And if I knew it, if I knew it now, like, man, I wish I still had it, but is what it is.
Yeah, you know, you do stuff and then you seller's remorse, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I sold that pastel, that pied het OG female because I had to buy Junior a new quad. And I sold it to someone that's not even breeding it.
Right? Yeah.
Pet, you know?
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Yep.
2,000 gram fucking pet. I'm like, and I keep telling her, I'm like, come on, send it my way. We'll pair it up. You know, we'll pair it up and get a clutch. And if you don't want babies, don't worry about it. She's like, oh, I'm worried if she'll be different after she has babies. I'm like, she won't be different. Nope. You know, but
snakes, they're pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's like food.
Yeah, food,
and water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited with that. He had a leopard firefly Xanthic male for sale.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
a lot.
That's what I want. I want leopard. Triple head.
Yeah,
TSK.
he's got some cool stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be also really cool because a lot, you know, I'm so used to everybody that's in New York. You know, we got some big dogs up here in the Northeast.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, it's, you see the same people, you know, when you're doing the shows and it's like you're doing 11 shows a year and it's the same people at every show. To be able to see different breeders, to be able to see, you know, you or Miguel or, you know, because Ozzy will be there.
You know what? I talked to Ozzy. I certainly don't want to put words in Ozzy's mouth, but I know he's done quite well selling. You know, I don't want to say he's not doing shows. I don't think he's doing Arlington. Whether or not he comes to Tinley or Schaumburg, whatever they're doing, I don't know. He may still do that one, but he did make it sound like he was maybe kind of cut back on some shows because, I mean, COVID's proved that we don't need it necessarily, right? Like, we've all sold snakes without it. But again, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I do believe he might be cutting back on some shows.
He's got a lot of other stuff going.
Ozzy's a lot of fun to talk to, man. Ozzy is he's just really intelligent. And he's kind spoken. Like I've really enjoyed the conversations, even the short conversations I've had with Ozzy. Like, so I wish he did more shows because like I said, I really enjoy him as a person. And but I think from what I've gathered, he's going to be pulling back on some shows. Again, I can't say that for sure, but yeah.
Because I was told like the two tables, Ozzy and JKR, their animals are just, it's not even real looking. They're just so fucking bright.
Like one year at Tinley, I think there was Levant set up and Ozzy was set up and JKR. Who else am I thinking of? There's another. Oh, like Brad Boa and Brock Wagner. Those guys have a big setup. And to see like all that stuff at once and all in the same building under the same roof, like it was a pretty fun show. A lot of oohs and ahs, you know. And then Brian Barczyk's there, and I think at that time like the scale of stuff was big, and it was. I remember that show just because like kind of all the big names were all there at once, and it was neat. It was kind of fun to be there.
Brian Barczyk used to vend every White Plains show.
Yeah, and they're not doing the White Plains show because that place is set up for a hospital, right? And so is White Plains not doing the show anywhere at all?
So Bruce is the guy that does those shows. So he does White Plains, Long Island, and New Hampshire.
Okay.
New Hampshire was just 2 shows a year, but now that the county center is a reserve hospital that has not been needed during the peak of COVID and probably won't ever need to be needed. Our wonderful fucking governor is saying, let's just, not make any money in White Plains that has enough poverty and just make it worse.
It's too bad, man. Yeah, it's too bad that that's happening.
They invested, they made the hospital within, I think they had it up within 5 days. But with all the military use to make it happen that fast, from what I hear, it costs like $20 million, $20 or $40 million. And it's been closed. They're not, so they tried doing it somewhere else, but like right now in New York, the rules are, if I'm correct, indoors is 50 people. So that's including vendors. So
interesting.
You're gonna have nobody can come in.
Right. Yeah.
Vendors they were supposed to do one in Nanuet, which I was really excited about because, to be honest with you, I would have loved for them to say screw White Plains, because White Plains is farther, as well as parking sucks. There's a lot of shitty things about it. The parking for that expo, if you're going to it, you have to cross like a really crazy parkway. It's like a 15-minute, 10-minute, 12-minute walk to get to the center. Yeah, so
interesting.
It's tough for, when it's really cold on your animals, and it's tough when it's really hot on your animals.
That's too bad.
Yeah, and they were going to do it in a Nanuet in a closed down Sears that had it was a massive Sears, and it had a massive parking lot right at the entrance of Sears. So everything was going for it, but they started all this advertising and stuff, and they never got approval from the city. So 5 days before the expo, they canceled. Broke my heart.
Horrible. Yeah, horrible.
But New Hampshire isn't bad. It takes me about 3.5 hours to get there. And we stay in a DoubleTree hotel. We sleep the night before, and I really like that show. I mean, it's by far my favorite show. I hit or miss. I meet a lot of great people, and I sell a lot of animals at that show.
Good. Yeah. I feel that way about Pomona. Like, Pomona's my favorite show. A lot of great people. I've met a lot of great people. I do well sales wise. I really enjoy Pomona. I think everybody probably has a favorite show. I would say this: Arlington has definitely become a very close second for me. I really enjoy Arlington and the people I get to see.
Yeah, there's so many people. I want to meet Bobby Vu, another fellow Asian.
Yeah. And I don't, me and Bob, he might know who I am. I know who he is, but we've never actually had, I think, like a long conversation, but he's we've been in the same 6 inches of space or something, man. He's always pretty funny, and I definitely enjoy the guy. He seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a fucking character. He just doesn't give a fuck. So
Yeah,
that's what I love about him.
You have the wife and kids go to bed, man. If you hook up with him and Miguel and those guys, I mean, I know they go out, like I don't actually like to go out. So like I'm pretty I don't know what it is, if it's anxiety or whatever it is, man. I just no longer like that environment. And so if we're like in a hotel lobby or we're at a restaurant and stuff like that's fine. But those guys, they party pretty hard. I think Miguel one time at Pomona, I think his brother was like working at a table with somebody else and shit. I think it was like the show stopped at 4, and I think Miguel finally showed up at like 3:30 on a Sunday. Like they had a rough night that Saturday night. I know people were kind of making fun of all the shit they did, and I know at Arlington those guys have went out and hit some fun clubs and stuff, and
yeah,
they're a group of characters.
I think it's going to be kind of like a family, it is a family vacation for us. So, I mean, I'm down for going out to eat,
Yeah, man, lots of dinners happen. And like I said, man, I think, I'm sure it's almost like I would assume people's feelings get hurt because it's a space thing. I don't think it's cliquey. I just think like it happens so fast. And it's, oh, hey, Chino, can you come here? And Troy, can you come here? And Chino, can you come here? And who do you turn down and who do you say yes to? And it gets a little chaotic. So yeah, man, this year I told the guys like I really wanted to kind of have some of that planned ahead of time. And so we have a little planned dinner with a group of us Friday night, and a little circle, like a circle I've been a part of, I think, for quite a few years. And then Saturday, man, I generally lately I've been kind of skipping some of the auctions and going to a dinner and stuff. But I think this time, from what it sounds like, a lot of guys will hang out. So I kind of plan on hanging out, at the hotel Saturday night and hopefully being able to hang out with people for a while. And then generally after the auction, little groups of people end up at a bar or restaurant or just hanging out in the lobby or whatever, man. And I've had a lot of good times with that. So I look forward to that, man. I think it'll be great. And then Sunday comes, Chino, and I'm not lying, man, like 4:00 or whatever, people are just ready to go. And it's like, where did everybody go? Where, how quickly could they, nobody said goodbye. And I'm like, where did everybody go? And just so, man. Yeah, pack and go. And yeah, man. God, just talking about Arlington, certainly, I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's how I am at shows, man. When it's time, when 4:00 hits, well, now it's 5:00. Now all the shows end at 5. Hour early, hour late. When that shit hits, if I don't see you while I'm walking and loading my shit to the car, sorry, we're out. Nah, you got a new one in the bedroom. Over there. Yeah, so I totally understand that. I just can't imagine. Like it's gonna be so crazy. Because it'll be cool because a lot of people I watch, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, to be able to meet them or see these animals. And I mean, I'm psyched. I'm really psyched about it.
Yeah, me too.
And the kids, like, so the little ones haven't been to an expo in years.
Yeah, man, I hope they have a good time. Like, it'll be, it's fun. Like I said, the pool there's a good time, and I think your kids will enjoy it, man. I think that'll be fun to watch your kids enjoy it.
Yeah, I got to figure out. So what do you think? So I finally got paid by YouTube for the donations through the fundraisers for US Arc.
Okay.
So I don't know if I should just donate it or if I should just bring a check and give it to them there.
Yeah, I think if you do that, man, I'm sure Phil would probably, I think he would get a kick out of that. And I planned on hopefully getting with you and introducing you and Phil and having a little minute there, and so yeah, man, I think he would find that pretty cool.
All right, so I'll stick with that plan because that was my plan. I was like, you know what? I'll just bring it there, and
Yeah, it's awesome.
and yeah, it's I got $545 in super
cool.
chats for it.
All right.
So
yeah, man,
yeah,
I think that'd be great.
We do got to get Aiden and Junior together. Well, we're gonna have the camera. I'm clearly gonna be shooting video, so we'll be blogging with our little. I got my little camera, and it actually kind of backfires because 90% of the people that see it are like, "Is that a camera?" And then instead of like talking about their animals, they're talking about the camera instead.
Yeah, I looked at grabbing the little oh geez. My drone is made by
DJI. That's the one I have.
Yeah. So they have that little handheld one, right? Is that what you got? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I looked at that just the other day.
Great.
Maybe two of us will have it because I still may pull the trigger on that little thing.
Well, if you do it, get the 2 and get the creator package.
Okay.
Because the creator package comes with the toggle, so you don't have to buy that.
Okay.
It comes with the wireless to connect to your phone.
Yep.
And then it comes with a lab mic, wireless lab mic.
Yeah, man, I'll do that. I'll jump back on. I was looking at B&H, and so I'll jump on there.
Yeah, I bought it. I got it off Amazon because you can get the 3-year warranty. So
okay,
and that warranty covers smashing. So I plan on smashing that motherfucker.
Yeah, B&H does the same thing. I think with Square Trade. I think is the company name that does a 3-year, like a 3 or 5 year.
Okay,
they're like
it's a great camera.
Yeah.
Actually, since you're a photographer, so you know about making your adjustments. Because it's similar to a DSLR, but it's more user friendly. Where the DSLR, you kind of got to like fuck with it. Where like with this one, you put it into pro mode and you can higher the brightness and lower the brightness. Pretty easy, like in seconds.
Does it have a manual mode? Like if you want to completely control it?
Yeah. That's the pro mode.
Okay.
That's the mode that I use.
Yeah, I'll probably jump on and do that. Send a link, Chino.
It's worth it. I mean, I think it's like $500 for the creator one.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the warranty, it ended up being like, $570, $580. But I mean, the quality of my YouTube videos is incredible.
Yeah, I got a buddy that does. He does kind of a similar thing on the photography side. So he interviews photographers with it. He takes it to the show. Shows the trade show and all that stuff, man. And he's really made some nice videos with that tiny thing.
Yeah, and it's so convenient, But the one flaw is that everybody wants to talk about it. So they're like, oh man, your snakes are really nice, and then it turns into, holy shit, that's a camera. Who makes that? Right?
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Fuck that, Chino. Pop-up money bags. No. Everybody bought snakes with their stimulus. In their first stimulus, everyone bought snakes. I bought a camera.
I paid my taxes with it.
Yeah, that's what I did with the second one.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. Like the government gave me money to give right back to them.
Yeah, it's like a wash.
Yeah, for money that I owed them. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, they have the other one, David, but the one is not. So the sensor on the camera is a 1/2 inch larger on the Pocket 2. So that's what helps you with low light.
Yep.
the low light on the Pocket 1, even if you brighten it up to like 6400, it still was dark. And it was having, that camera has more issues with shadows. So if you're shooting outside and there's shadows, your video pretty much is gonna, the camera's gonna go for the brightness and then kind of black out the darkness. And they fixed that with the 2. Don't worry. So I guess I don't have to send you a link, David.
Yeah, get on there and buy it.
So funny. David buys all this expensive shit, but he's so cheap with little things. The random things he's cheap with.
It's funny.
Oh, Lily's not going to Arlington either. So it's Lily and Chad. There's going to be so many fucking people there.
Yeah.
It's perfect because is there restrictions?
I don't believe so. I mean, David can answer that more so, but it seems like everybody I've talked to in the Texas area seems like things are pretty wide open.
Yeah, it's pretty much the only flaw is you still got to wear your mask.
Yeah. I think that's a convention center thing, though.
Yeah, it should be cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
I hope my boa drops her fucking eggs before. She's killing me, man. She's on day, I want to say like either day 114 or day 115 since her shed. And she's doing all the signs of like how the boas thin out before they lay. It hasn't done it yet. Like, I mean, she's thinned out.
I've never bred boas, so I know a little bit of nothing there.
You know, I pretty much, instead of incubating in a, well, they're still laying. They have a litter, but they're still laying them. Instead of laying eggs and staying in the incubator for, let's say, 60 days, like a ball, it's like
live birth a bunch of slimy little things.
Oh, it's horrible. All that like amniotic fluid, and I mean,
yeah, it looks like a gooey mess.
Oh, it looks fucking horrible. And this girl, I had a couple people check her out that have bred boas, and they're like, "You better get ready for a lot of snakes." It looks like this one's got like 30 of them in it, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, they'll pretty much drop their babies at like I think 110 to 130 days after the pre-lay shed.
All right.
So she pre-lay shed the day December 23rd. So we're fucking there, man.
Nice. And, yeah, that'd be cool.
And she's doing all the boas are different than the balls. The balls kind of they kind of stick to a side of the tub. You know, they don't really dance around even when they're uncomfortable. Where the boas kind of like, if I go and look and it's set up, every 3 hours it's in a different spot. Never in the same spot. It's like juggling between hot and cold, hot and cold.
Huh.
Like every 4 hours it switches around.
Nice. Yeah.
But I'm hoping she proves out if she it's weird, like hypo, like so the hypo gene is not a what is it? Why am I having a fucking brain fart? A recessive. So it's actually a codom or incomplete dom. So I have a super hypo, a possible super hypo. And fuck, I'm gonna sneeze. One more. All right. The super hypo, you have to prove it out. It's not a visual, like it's visual, but it's not guaranteed. It has to be proven out. So this is a possible super hypo, possible het albino.
All right.
And then I bred a jungle hypo albino to it.
Huh.
So she proves out.
Sounds like a good time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like fucking 30 of them.
Yeah, that'd be way awesome. That sounds way awesome.
Yeah, and the boas, it seems like I see a lot of boas at the shows, but I gotta say, man, I have like already 3 people that want a baby.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like my starting this years and years ago, how many like Burmese pythons and retics and shit you see, and now, it's just ball python craze and boas and Burmese and a lot of that comes down to state law and whatnot too. But it's interesting how people come over to the table. That's an interesting thing. How people come to the table and we'll go, "Do you know who has boas?" And they're just like frantic. Who has boas? And I'm like, I think that guy does. And they just scurry, over to places. And so sometimes, man, when I get walking around a show, I do see how scarce it is. You might find 10 people that have them. And so it's kind of cool, man. I never got into boas even early on, man. I've just never been a boa guy. We had retics, we had Burmese, had anacondas. But I think I had the, Brazilian rainbow boas. That was the only thing that we had.
I like rainbow boas, but I'm learning that they're harder to keep than you think because they're high humidity.
Yeah. Let's say there's some guys I know that have decent collections of those or starting to. So I think you might see a bit of a comeback on some of that stuff here over the next couple of years.
Sand boas are really, that's what I get at the shows. It's like hognose and sand boas.
I don't mind the Amazon tree boas, but I also like green tree pythons, and they're obviously, I think, somewhat similar. Maybe somebody's like, no, they're not. I don't really know. They seem to look similar, but I wouldn't mind having some green tree pythons. That would be something I would add to my snake room to be outside of ball pythons.
I want a green tree. As weird as it sounds, I kind of want to just get bit by a green tree.
Yeah.
Just because of those teeth.
We could probably arrange that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Want to go?
Yeah,
where's David? Where's David asking me to go? Did I miss this in some messages?
GTP Troy. I don't know what GTP means.
Green tree python?
Yeah. Oh, want a green tree python, Troy.
My phone's got a crack in it, so I didn't see that right. It looked like it said you want to go. Yeah, I do kind of want a green tree python, or I wouldn't even mind maybe trying to breed them at some point, but I wouldn't mind getting one just to maybe learn some stuff, like get familiar with it or something. But yeah,
they're awesome. There's something about that bright green snake that's just sitting on a branch, all coiled up, hanging over the front and back.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
The Eastern Indigo, I love that, but those are big money.
Yeah.
They start at like $5,000, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Like, man, some of that stuff, I'm out of touch, so I don't know, but I'm sure.
The indigo, the reason why I like the indigo is because it's an animal that can eat stillborns. So
have you seen the auction that USARK Florida and Michael Cole are doing for the Boland's pythons for a pair of 1.1 Boland's pythons? Have you seen this?
I saw the auction. I saw the ad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get like X amount of tickets for different amounts or whatever, and it's kind of interesting. I would love to have. I think those are the prettiest pythons of them all, but and they're just now starting to find some tricks to getting them breeding in captivity a lot better. But I almost not that I wouldn't support an auction, but you know, if I came across and had the dollars, man, that might be something I would buy as well.
Yeah, the way their head is, especially as adults, that head is just
Yeah,
like
it's beautiful, man. They're very pretty.
yeah, I like the videos, the few videos you can see that Kevin has on them.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Nice.
One day, as I said, once I have a facility, I can really play with more shit. But
Right? Yeah.
Sunday, I'm getting my 2 bloods.
You're getting some blood pythons?
Yeah, Patrick Macomorphs.
Yeah.
He got his hands on 2 blood pythons that are already 2 years old. A female T positive, so a nice red one, and a male matrix het T positive.
All right. Nice.
And he wants store credit. He's like, whatever, man. I'm not going to work with these. So just give me store credit in the future, and you can have them. So he's going to actually drive down from Rochester and pick up. He needs ASFs and mice, but I don't have any ASFs to give him, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm trying to get that transition before these clutches really drop, and I'm trying to pretty much maximize the amount of ASFs I have and only keep like 2 mouse colonies.
Huh.
I'm only breeding the mice just because of traits, because I'm having fun with making morphs and crossing different morphs, and I found the recessive gene. I bought like 50 mice, and they all were a visual recessive.
That's very interesting.
Like, they're like salt and pepper. And I didn't realize it was recessive until I bred them to other stuff and didn't get any visuals. So I bought all these mice in January 2020. And I finally am down like 3 generations where I'm mixing in whether it's oranges or grays or, you know, kind of like a pied marker on the mice where they're like dominantly white but patches, but then I'm trying to bring in this pattern onto the patches. And
that sounds, I don't pay attention to any of that. I just feed the little fuckers off if I have them.
yeah, it was so weird. I got these guys, and then I just was like fascinated with them because they're white, and then they just have like it's like the reverse salt and pepper hair. Like instead of having black hair with random gray stripes in your head, this is white with random white stripes.
All right,
like random white hair, black hairs. I mean,
it's pretty cool.
Hairless mice. The fucking hairless rats are so. I have the funniest looking hairless rats in my collection where they have just facial hair. So they have like a kung fu movie goatee that instead of going out, it goes down.
That's funny.
And oh my god, it's so. They have like a soul patch on their balls, and they have a little small goatee, and the rest of their body is just like hairless.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, one of my customers, it freaks her out. So when she needs rodents, I always throw those in. Yeah, she doesn't pick them.
That's good.
But I like the hairless in my collection for because you could feed bigger and they're not wasting so much energy on digesting the hair. Whether it makes a difference or not.
I had a snake at one point that, man, he would eat hairless stuff easy. So like if I had hairless stuff, man, he'd gobble it up.
It's crazy how some snakes.
Some snakes are really, really weird like that.
I had a customer that their snake wouldn't eat dark rodents. It would only eat light-skinned rodents,
That's
light fur
pretty,
birds.
that's pretty weird.
I don't believe them. And then I had another customer was trying to tell me that their ball python only eats females, not males.
That would also be very interesting.
And I'm like, how the fuck does it know?
Yeah, or is it just really in their head?
Chino is jealous of his. Yep, those hairless rats can grow a better goatee than me. It's true. Yeah, I'm excited for the Bloods. I've always wanted a T positive blood. It's just those oranges and the reds are just incredible. You know,
Nice.
so it'll be exciting. And I got the rack space for them. And it's nice because then the Bloods, you put them on the lower racks, you know, where it's a little bit cooler, the lower shelves.
Okay. Huh.
But they have nice size litters. I mean, nice size clutches. Where their balls in their mouth? Oh, now Ryan's getting in on it. But we're about to hit 3 hours.
Yeah, man.
And
I've got some stuff to go do, so finish up before the end of the night here. But yeah, if cool getting out of here, I can get out of here.
yeah, I smoked my last cigarette. I thought I had another pack, so I got to go get cigarettes at midnight.
Nice. I probably have to go upstairs and have either bread and honey or maybe just a couple spoonfuls of frosting or find some cookies.
I wish I can do that. I've been really on top of my diabetes. Every day I test and my sugar's great.
Good.
So
I have a friend that does not take care of himself and unfortunately will probably pass away at a young age here. And it's unfortunate and scary and sad because he just doesn't care to take care of himself, and so his diabetes is out of control. So I'm glad that you take care of yours.
yeah, and then with the new shot I got, forget it.
Yeah,
I'm not getting sick, and I feel good, and it's only once
Good.
a week.
Good.
Oh shit, Janae, the newly 18, the new adult,
Yeah,
will be over there too.
Yep.
The old lady.
She's old now. She's one of us.
Yeah, now I cannot feel weird being in a group chat where people kind of say stuff and they're like,
where we talk nonsense, and then we realize that we had a girl in there that was under 18. Yeah.
like, Janae's here. Be quiet.
She's probably more of an adult than we were at that time, anyways. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of those young people. I mean, she had her first clutch of eggs at 17.
Yep, she's good stuff. We all enjoy her. So yeah.
Yeah.
Cool,
Definitely.
man.
Well,
yeah, I will. I'll bounce out of here, and I always enjoy this, man. So I appreciate you having me on.
definitely, man. Love to have it on. Have you on. Plus, now we'll finally meet in person. So I'm excited. We're
like 4 or 5 days away. Like I'm doing Wednesday night, man. I'll hunt you down sometimes Thursday. So
yeah, I got to figure out. I got to rent a car. I think I didn't put that into the equation. I think I'm gonna reserve one because I haven't even thought of like how do I get to how do I get from
the hotel? Yeah, the hotel will pick you up. They have a shuttle. Last I knew. So whether or not you want that option, otherwise, yeah, man, I guess we can always figure something out. So otherwise, everything's right around there. Like most of us get during like Friday or during Saturday and Sunday, like during the day, like most of us, there's a ton of Uber Eats vehicles flying in and out of there. And then generally, if we go out to eat with different groups, like there's always enough people that have cars that, people just pile in or whatnot. So yeah, we'll figure it out. We can talk before then. So yeah. Ooh, nice. Yeah, yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to I have to stay connected with Nico there about some lychees.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
They're go big or go home, man. Get some
yeah,
GTs. Get something big.
yeah. They're cool, man. They're really neat. So
Yeah,
nice,
I feel
man.
like
Yeah, I'm gonna
well,
pop
you
out
have a
here.
great night.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much. I will talk to you soon.
Hell yeah, man. Definitely.
All right, buddy. We'll see everybody in the chat. See you guys.
Later, brother.
All right, man. Later.
All right. So we had Troy in the house, and that was awesome. I mean, Troy's been on like 5 live streams, but it was never one-on-one. So I'm happy to have him on the live stream, be able to talk reptiles with him, and that was great. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I did get questions about next week. I'm not sure what I'm doing next week. Because I'm going to be in Texas. So I haven't figured that out yet. Maybe I'll just do a quick live stream and yeah. But can't wait to meet all of you guys in Texas. I'm excited. And I look forward to it. What's going on, Rachel? So I hope you guys like the show and you have a great night. Be safe. And I will see you on the flip side.